Interesting evening of football.
In North London last night, Newcastle United took control, beating Arsenal by 2-0. This is the 65th season of the League Cup, as this second semi-final is underway, but only on 3 occasions in the previous 64 years has the away team won both of the first legs. 3 of 63 in many ways, if you think that it was a single-tier game in 2021 to reduce fixture congestion. But Liverpool are all in red. They are playing from left to right as we look, so they're attacking that south stand away towards our right, and Tottenham Hotspur in their white and navy blue shirts and navy blue shorts have a throw on this near side that Spence manages to keep the ball in, back towards the extremely versatile Archie Gray, down towards Spence, and Son is away. And Quansah is the one who will get there first with a back pass to Alisson, who then just clips the ball out towards Bradley, off the chest, closed down by Bergvall, flicked down the line, but Tottenham Hotspur quickly back in possession, and they will get a throw just inside the Liverpool half.
Yeah, Spurs, as expected, move the ball around. Archie Gray in that usual position. He's playing more in that role, that's for certain. Comfortable. Spence tried to go in behind, Son getting the run, but he started quickly. Didn't expect anything else, but Liverpool will sit and wait, get ready for the counter. It's a little foul there, but great atmosphere here, Dano.
Yeah, well, just like Newcastle United, with their hordes that had made their way down from the north to Arsenal last night. Liverpool likewise coming down from the northwest. 6,000 Liverpool supporters behind that goal, and they also have part of the middle tier as well into that stand away towards our left as Jones turns away from Bergvall, passes the ball up towards Salah, controls it with his left foot, stands on it, and then hits a long diagonal ball that Gakpo does well to bring the ball out of the air on the top of his left boot into the penalty area. He goes, walks away out of the penalty area, got a little nudge from behind as well. McAllister hits it first time. Bradley will not keep that ball in play. It'll go out for a goal kick, and without wanting to put the kiss of death on a game that obviously had 9 goals when they met just 2.5 weeks ago. But it's 82 games since Tottenham were last involved in a goalless draw. That was against Milan here in the Champions League in March 23, towards the end of Antonio Conte's spell. But it's 111 domestic games since they were last involved in a goalless draw.
I'm not sure I welcome that stat. We'll see how the game develops, but yeah, it is one of those, isn't it? The Spurs way. We want attacking football, we want to be on the front foot.
Tell you what, there's many Tottenham fans, and indeed their manager Postecoglou might welcome it, bearing in mind that Nottingham Forest are the only team to have stopped Liverpool from scoring this season. Spence looks for the run of Solanke, a former Liverpool player, just ran out as he made that run towards this near left touchline. It was always going away from him, and ultimately out of play it goes for a Liverpool throw midway through their own half on this near side, the right.
Yeah, they're looking to try and get in behind, both teams just waiting, and then try and put an attack, counter-attack. Gakpo this time, got pass.
That was a loose ball from Tsimikas to Solanke, backheels it to Kulusevski, and Quansah is the one who comes across inside the penalty area and clears it away downfield. Little loose.
Yeah, very loose pass. You've seen Kulusevski, he's been on top form. I really like what he delivers for this Spurs side, but drifted in, and Solanke just didn't fall his way. It's just about a bit of composure, you know, especially these Spurs players. Can they get hold of it in a different way? Can they make sure they have more control in games?
I know in jest we mentioned Michael Brown's missed penalty when Tottenham were knocked out by Liverpool in this competition some 20 years ago. He missing that decisive kick. But to readdress the balance, I think it's only fair to say you were part of a Sheffield United side that did beat Liverpool in a League Cup semi-final first leg.
Yeah, first leg at Bramall Lane, great night. 2 goals from Michael Ton, but here they go.
Bergvall driving forward for Spurs behind Solanke, and McAllister is there to tidy up for Liverpool and back towards Tsimikas. That was the previous season, 2003, as Tsimikas hits the ball into Jones. It was quickly played back to Quansah, knocked forward then towards Bradley, and closed down by Bentancur, and referee Stuart Atwell giving the free kick to Liverpool. 5 minutes played, 0-0. BBC Radio 5 Live and also on the BBC Sounds app.
It's the extremely high line. Is that danger from Spurs? They're right on the halfway line, really so.
Kwanzaa this time gives it away to Kulusevski. Forward now towards Bergvall, in towards the penalty area. Shepherded into the inside right channel. Plays it back. Basuma looks for a shooting opportunity. McAllister has a little nibble. Out towards Porro. Cross from the right-hand side. And Van Dijk, with an outstretched right leg, diverts the ball behind for a corner and then turns and questions his defence. That's twice Liverpool have been sloppy.
Yeah, he's in a good position. Just couldn't get his foot round it as he diverted for a corner. Quick, good attacking balls into the areas, and it's back in the order, looking to go short.
They were a little lackadaisical at times against Manchester United at the weekend out of defence. We'll need to sharpen up, will Liverpool, in that respect. 0-0. 6 minutes in. Corner 2, Tottenham, far side the right, outswinger. Comes to the edge of the area, it's going to fall to Son first time. Dragishin, and then a good save by Alisson. And then Kwanzaa was the one who quickly turned the ball behind, but a Tottenham player has gone down.
Big problem.
And it's a head injury.
It's a big problem. This is not good. You could see the reaction of the referee. As the medics go on, it doesn't look good when the players do this. Oh no. They're there very quickly though.
Well, to be fair, because the amount of players who are around him and the physios attending to the player, hard to say at this stage who it is, but both sets of players reacted extremely quickly to alert the physio and also credit the referee Stuart Atwell.
Yes, you can see the anguish. Medics are straight on. Let's hope everything's going to be okay. There's only one staff working in and around the player, but that's more important. You see the concern now on Ange Postecoglou.
Well, not only that, there've been no TV replays as well, which straight away gives you an indication of the seriousness of the situation. And the stretcher is already out there in the penalty area. Let's get an update from Celtic. Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, just under 20 minutes gone, Ian. Celtic 0, Dundee United 0. There's been a great chance of Celtic. Arnie Engels floated in a fantastic corner. Austin Trusty got his head on it and it rattled off the crossbar. It's incessant pressure from Celtic right now. I feel the goal will be coming probably sooner rather than later. Celtic 0, Dundee United 0.
Well, just by a process of elimination, it's not Solanke. I can see Gray, I can see Bergvall, Dragishin, Basuma. Not Jed Spence either.
Porro.
Could be Bentancur is the player. I think it might well be Bentancur who's gone down. Of course, he had that bad injury with his left knee, didn't he? Was it last year? February 23, in fact. But the physio's attending to the Tottenham player at this stage, and a lot of care and attention, quite rightly, is being applied by the physios and also the St John ambulance people who are also there as well. It was a corner that had come in from the right-hand side. I mean, I was just following the ball as it came to the edge of the area for Son, and Alisson actually reacted extremely well to that first-time shot by Son.
It went right the way through, didn't it? And I'm thinking, is Son going to take that on? Left-footed outside the penalty area, strikes it across. Dragishin just turns his right foot, tries to guide it into the corner. Right-handed save from Alisson. It was a good one, but you're looking and thinking, what's next? And all of a sudden, the players were all around it. And what I do know about this particular medical staff and this football club, they have everything in place. One of the best, that's for certain, and you're in very, very good hands.
Yeah, very good hands. But what they're doing at the moment, they're just making sure that the head is staying as still. So there's one of the physios at the moment, which is purely just holding the head. The stretcher is there, but there is also like two yellow platforms that are going to go at the side of the stretcher. So this is going to take a considerable period of time for whilst Bentancur is very carefully placed onto that stretcher with the head injury, and it's going to be a lengthy stoppage. Meanwhile, on this cold night, the players are also trying to keep warm as well, because that's another concern when you have such a lengthy stoppage, isn't it? Because muscle injuries.
Yeah, I get that, but the concern straight away is
I know that.
I'm just saying there is a worry But do you know what? They'll just make sure they're right. You know, the trainers are ready and waiting. They'll get them all ready to go.
Yeah. Oh no, I wasn't trying to play down the situation. I was just trying to give a picture of what we're actually seeing with the players who are still moving around and trying to keep themselves moving. I think there's oxygen as well that is being applied to Bentancur. Meanwhile, a goal at Celtic, Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, Dyson Maeda has scored his 5th league goal of the season. It was recycled. Ball was actually, the initial shot was very well saved by Jack Walton in goal. Maeda was there just inside the 18-yard box, quicker than everyone else, to slam it home. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0.
Have you ever been in a situation where one of your teammates has had such a serious injury?
Yeah, several occasions. You know, you're there, and you go over, you're waving very quickly, but what about the reaction of the medical team there? All over it, from all angles of the pitch, and that's what you want. But now it's just the safety, and then you're looking and you're wondering, is he going to be okay? What is the injury? I think those players pretty much know what it is. I think that's one thing. So everyone's been and realising, but then also you've got to try and forget it. You've got to focus, because the game's about to start and things can change very, very quickly when this types to happen. This is where the management team have got to be on point. Everybody in looking to see what details. It's a set piece as well. Liverpool all around that 6-yard area just waiting, but this is a long hold, isn't it, in the game, and it's a huge concern.
Well, he missed Newcastle, did Bentancur, at the weekend because of the accumulation of 5 yellow cards, so that was the suspension. He'd previously missed 6 games as well through the suspension for the racial slur, the comments that he'd made. So if you actually look back, since the end of November, Bentancur has played just 3 occasions for Tottenham. And because of the seriousness of this situation, and even if he does make a speedy recovery, if it's anything like concussion, then he's going to have to go through the necessary protocols with that to follow too.
Yeah, this just doesn't look like just a straightforward one, does it? I think the amount of time, the concern, more people now travelling to the area. You see Brennan Johnson just waiting on the touchline to get that opportunity to come on in a strange situation, but everyone's geared up now. They know and realise what these things mean, what happens, and they're ready for it, these players.
But what it does do as well, it gives us, as we continue to monitor the situation, and there's still been no change. He's still being placed onto the stretcher at the moment. Everton Peterborough, the cup action continues on 5 Live. FA Cup tomorrow night, the 3rd round begins. Everton Peterborough United will be our commentary at 7:45. Aston Villa West Ham United, Graham Potter's first game in charge, on Friday night at 8 o'clock. 5 commentaries on Saturday and 3 more on Sunday. But this is the League Cup semi-final, first leg, and it came about. It was a good 5 minutes ago now, where a corner came in from the right. Bentancur had stooped down to try and head the corner, didn't make contact but fell down onto the pitch, and has picked up a head injury as well. And as well with the cold, I mean, the undersoil heating, but the ground will be extremely hard, won't it?
Yeah, very firm. We're just getting a shot of all the players who are not involved. There's so many of them for Spurs. It just gets worse, this injury record, and obviously 2 of the players are out. One comes back in Bentancur, and now this. It's the last thing. And I think psychologically, how do you feel when you're on the pitch when that's happening to you? I think, is it going to get any worse? And it continues. You need a few characters to get hold of a couple of these players who are still quite new to this type of situation. The goalkeeper we've talked about coming in for his appearance, and then now there's the supporters getting behind. You see Van Dijk there just rallying a few of the players and make sure they're ready for the set piece. We have a little bit of movement, Deno.
Every single one of the Liverpool supporters as well behind that goal is joining in with the applause for Rodrigo Bentancur, who is now placed onto the stretcher, and the stretcher bearers will carry him off towards the direction of the dressing rooms. And this is the ovation for the Uruguayan midfielder Rodrigo Bentancur after that serious head injury, as Brennan Johnson waits to come on. But that was a good 6, 7, even an 8-minute delay.
Yeah, it's a massive delay for the amount of people in and around what they've had to take on. Now we wish him well, his family. It's one of those of concern for a lot of people, and it just doesn't look good, does it, Deno? at all.
So Bentancur will get off for the best possible medical treatment. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, 15 minutes played on the clock, but realistically we're only halfway through that quarter of an hour in terms of actual playing time. Tottenham have a corner, and it's caught by Alisson from Son's delivery on this near side, the Tottenham left, and then Alisson will roll the ball out to Gravenberch. And as you say, after such a serious injury, it's how the Tottenham supporters now are able to quickly switch and get back into game mode and focus on the game in hand, as Liverpool with Gakpo on that far side, Tsimikas not required on the overlap. Jones will pass the ball out to Tsimikas, level with the penalty area. Liverpool keeping the ball. Every outfield player is in the Tottenham half, away towards our right-hand side, and then lifted up towards Salah, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Michael Brown.
See Virgil van Dijk, sort of left centre-back position, just into the Spurs half, tries to hit a long diagonal, he slips in the build-up. He's the goalkeeper now. Kinski just playing out.
Just had a chance to look at it again, actually, and when Bentancur, stooping, fell to the floor, there was not a Liverpool player around him. As from a throw, Liverpool. This is Gravenberch, nudged out by Spence. Here is Salah, his cross blocked from the right corner of the area. We can only wish the very best for Rodrigo Bentancur as Liverpool wait to take a throw on this near side, the right level with the area. Here is Jones. Bradley given away towards Basuma. Will run it out of defence for Tottenham Hotspur. Gives it to Quansah. Almost showed a little bit there towards Kulusevski, but Quansah went back to Alisson. Remember, in Scotland, the two games that are being played tonight, Celtic lead Dundee United by a goal to 0. And I think Kilmarnock have just taken the lead at home to Motherwell at Rugby Park as well. Brad Lyons has scored after 26 minutes. 0-0 though here in this League Cup semi-final first leg. The ball, that was an uncertain moment from the debutant Antonin Kinski, the blonde-haired goalkeeper. He's about 6'2", came back to him, and he tried to lift the ball in the air with his right foot, and he was almost caught out. Although he's now shown another side of his game with his distribution. He's hit that flat ball that has gone downfield, and Son had made a run in from the left touchline and almost got on the end of it.
It was almost an unbelievable ball, wasn't it? That's why I went quiet. I thought, is he going to get it, Son? I was watching him under pressure, right on the edge of his penalty area. I think he'd just clear it. Can you catch it? He sort of takes a side-footed touch and knocks it up into the air under pressure. He looks confident.
That goal, incidentally, was disallowed at Rugby Park, so it remains Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 0. Celtic, though, still lead by a goal to 0. Basuma forward midway through the the Tottenham half, out then towards Spence. Now answers Son on this near side. Spence continues to run ahead of him. Son slows down. And Bradley was part of that slowing down process, but Spence has stayed part of the attack on this Tottenham left. Level the area. Back towards Son. Still 0-0. And then he goes back to Archie Gray. Archie Gray forward of the halfway line. Dragishin right of the centre circle, out to that far side for the substitute Johnson. Kulusevski is the one who's just dropped back as Johnson is filling in that more advanced role. The way that they've jigged things around of Tottenham. Here is Son, keeps the ball in play, chips it forward but stubs it down into the ground, and then Gravenberch will go back to Quansah. Back inside his own penalty area to Alisson. Solanke runs towards him. There's the press from Tottenham. Liverpool quite comfortably beat it. Out towards Tsimikas, far side. Midway through the Liverpool half, helped out by McAllister to Jota. His forward ball. I think Gakpo thought he might have been in an offside position. It might have been that Archie Gray was playing him on and he didn't bother running for the ball.
Yeah, I think he probably was in an offside position, but you're just looking how both teams are playing out under pressure, taking risks. If you're brave enough to do it, Liverpool have made those changes, but they keep continuing to do so. Just looking now, Kulusevski in the central position.
Porro sent scampering forward, right hand side, look for the first time cross. Gakpo went with him, got the block challenge in, and then headed the ball out for good measure. And Tottenham get a throw, which they want to take quickly. A replacement ball off one of those tiny white cones, level with the penalty area on that far side, the right. Spurs playing from right to left is taken. But there was McAllister with the interception. Spurs get it back. Kulusevski's early ball into the penalty area, too far ahead of Solanke, straight through to Alisson, 0-0.
Yeah, something happens when Kulusevski gets it. It's a slightly different role from when we started because of that injury. Kulusevski coming inside just in front of those midfielders. And Johnson going out to the right, fizzed it across. Solanke just couldn't get it.
Tsimikas from left back, ball over the top. Chugging forward was McAllister. Dragusin will come back and should tidy this up back to Kinski. Ooh, again, that could have gone anywhere. He was quite happy to turn, comfortable with the ball at his feet, but his first time clearance actually struck the heels of Archie Gray and diverted, fortunately, into the path of Spence. They lose the ball in the midfield. Bergvall tries to win it back. There's the turnover. Tottenham are attacking. Kulusevski, urged on by this crowd inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Cross blocked and then cleared by Tsimikas. Up towards Gakpo. He turns away from Basuma. Loses out. Basuma, early ball. Finds Son. Edge of the area. Son with a shooting opportunity. And Solanke tried to turn it in at the near post. Last touch came off Solanke. Out it goes for a goal kick. 0-0 on 5 line.
Well, there it is. There's the counter-attack. Great pressing in the middle of the pitch. Kulusevski first, getting away. Tries to fizz a ball outside of his left boot across. Good numbers from Liverpool. Comes back away. It's a great challenge. Middle of the pitch. Central. Basuma out to Son. And then there he goes. Little drag onto his left. Pushes it right across the front post. And Solanke just pushing it wide. But great counter from Spurs.
Tottenham Hotspur, who have never lost a semi-final at home in the first leg, or indeed a single tie if you include that one against Brentford some 4 years ago. They've won 5, they've drawn 2. However, they've only reached the final in 4 of those 7 ties. But they have created the best opportunities of this first leg so far. You think of the Alisson save from Son and the effort from Dragusin, and then Solanke as well, flicking it wide at the near post. Tottenham Hotspur. Spence gets away from Gravenberch. Van Dijk will stop it. Jones plays it forward. Spence was alert to it though and running in field. Energetic play from Spence, running from his left back role out towards the right hand side of midfield. Dragusin will go back to Kinski. Forward ball, Basuma back towards the Romanian international defender Dragusin, who then plays it out from defence and goes straight through to Van Dijk. Haven't really seen much of Liverpool as an attacking team.
Yeah, not yet. Only that first moment. Now to Gakpo. Nothing come as he drifted inside, but here they go. Just as you asked that question.
Salah cuts inside. 2 to his left. One of them is Gakpo. Gakpo waits back towards Salah. First time left-footed wide. Pulled it off target. He was left to the deep outside the penalty area, going away from Kinski's goal, and it will be a goal kick to Tottenham. 0-0.
Yeah, good press, and then Salah gets it and tries to look for a little bit of space. Was it out left hand side, and he gets it laid for him right on the edge of the area as he's gone right inside the pitch. Hits it really well, but just across the face of the goal, always going wide.
When it comes to semi-finals, you can't get better records than these two. There's Kulusevski with a cross, and Alisson makes the save, diving forward. Because Tottenham and Liverpool have both made, they're in the top 2 when it comes to semi-final appearances. This is Tottenham's 18th League Cup semi-final appearance. Liverpool, the most successful club in the history of the competition, their 20th appearance in the semi-final. 0-0. But Alisson was called into question on that occasion.
Yeah, good take. Kulusevski got released down the left this time from Son, and he hits it very, very early. Kulusevski right across the face. Brennan Johnson coming in from the far right, but Alisson collected it really well, comfortable. But it's just end to end. It's quick. It's high tempo now as Spurs getting their stride, the rhythm. The danger with that. Look at Liverpool as well. They're going to step right on. Look at the amount of attacking players. The Spurs on the back line, 4 at that point, and Porro was one of them.
24 minutes played when they met here in the league. Liverpool by this stage had already taken the lead as Salah's cross into the penalty area. Porro with a scissor kick clearance away, although slightly unfair that when you think of the lengthy delay that we had with that injury to Bentancur. So whilst 25 minutes have now been played, we're only looking at 17 minutes really of actual game time, but it still remains goalless.
But then in the build-up, there was 4 attacking players on the back line. Porro was one of them, almost centre forward from your right back, and he's back in just clearing it away.
Here is Van Dijk. That's the voice of Michael Brown on BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. Alisson plays it to Quansah. Right hand side, Bradley stepping out of defence easily with Spence to get there before Salah. He was very alert with Spence, did well, started the game very brightly. Bergvall, the young blonde midfielder for Tottenham Hotspur. Here is Gray. Spence short of the halfway line, got a blow on the foot. He's gone away hobbling from that challenge and actually drops to his knees as well. Ange Postecoglou must wince every time a player goes down, given the current situation in the first aid room.
I tell you what, the medical staff will be. That's for certain. I'm thinking I can't believe what's happening, but they play high intensity, they train with high intensity. We've got to get used to it. But this is a really unusual amount.
A lot of hamstring injuries, though, isn't there?
I wasn't fast enough for one of those. Before you said it.
I wasn't going to say that at all. Tell you what, if you've made 657 appearances in your career, I don't think anybody could say that you haven't got stamina. An industrious midfielder, although combative as well, because there were 8 red cards thrown into those 657 games.
Was it not 7? Have you? No. Are you working hard on it? Yeah. I give you the stat about the penalty, didn't I? Normally you're fully covered, but you've used it twice, and I'm glad I give you it.
0-0 as the ball is safely marshalled out by Quansah for a goal kick. Although your former teammate Nick Montgomery was trying to say, have you done your homework? And I said, don't worry, I've already done it. 2003 with Sheffield United at Bramall Lane.
Yeah, we've got to remember, he obviously didn't complete the game, he got injured in it, so he has memories of an injury in this particular game, first leg.
I hope you're not suggesting why you won.
I think a few might be. Some of my former teammates like to give Nick Montgomery, who now is right on the side of Ange Postecoglou, enjoying his role, that's for certain, coming into this brilliant football club.
Now Quansah's just gone down as Alisson was preparing to take the goal kick. Quansah coming into the side. He's only made this is only his 10th appearance of the season. Konate is warming up. So will that be the way he went down and suggests a muscle injury?
Yeah, possibly. We'll soon see. Virgil van Dijk standing over the top of him, whether it's just at times you can just have a little tweak your ankle or something happens, but another stop in play. We want this to be end to end because we know it's going to be. There's plenty of time yet for it to set on fire. I feel like it's really just started. It's a shame now there's another break.
Well, there was that lengthy stoppage because of the Bentancur injury, and there's another stoppage here as well. Konate is, in fact, Endo is the player who might be coming on here. Konate did come back against Manchester United at the weekend after missing the previous 8 games with a knee injury, but Endo, whose only 3 starts of the season for Liverpool have all been in the League Cup, is actually getting his final instructions. So Wataru Endo, the Japanese international, looks like he's going to be the player to come on for Quansah. If he's not in the position to continue, he's at least back on his feet. 0-0, 29 minutes on the clock, but realistically we've still got another 25 minutes to go of this first half, but Quansah is not going to be able to continue, and it is going to be Wataru Endo who's coming on. And I think this is probably an opportunity for Arne Slot just to manage his squad and give players game time.
Are you curious why he's not used Konate? Because of maybe the games that he's missed? He doesn't want to rush him, it's still early on, you know it's going to be end to end, he's going to be turned around. I thought he might have done it.
So Endo is on, he replaces Quansah, and both sides have been forced into a change in this first half. 0-0. Play resumes. Alisson with the goal kick away towards our left, flicked on by Gomez on the half volley, knocked forward by Basuma, goes out for a Tottenham throw on that far side, the right, inside this impressive stadium where the forecasted snow flurries are at least holding off. There was a snow shower ahead of kick-off. Liverpool were actually late in arriving. They arrived at around 10 to 7 tonight, so about 15-20 minutes later than probably scheduled. If you've ever been to this part of North London, that high road, as Michael Brown, as a former Spurs player, will know, can get easily congested.
Yeah, very congested. Had some difficulties leaving this stadium at times, but now look at it. Doesn't get any better than this all around the world. Sensational stadium. Spurs just draw a foul now, get possession started. Liverpool creeping up. Virgil van Dijk saying, come on, let's get up, let's squeeze it. A little bit of protection with Jones just filtering around the pitch. Alexis McAllister sat deep as well, but we haven't really seen him, have we?
No.
McAllister
Dragishin looking for the ball forward. Alisson comes out of his penalty area and heads it well out towards that far side, the Tottenham right, where Dragishin will take the throw. In fact, they'll just toss it down the line towards Porro. That was good anticipation, that, by the Liverpool goalkeeper in front of that strong travelling support who make their voices heard now here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Still, it remains 0-0 between Tottenham and Liverpool. Celtic still lead Dundee United by 1-0. They're looking to go 16 points clear of Rangers, and it remains goalless at Rugby Park between Killy and Motherwell. Tsimikas with a throw far side. Jones is the one who's running back. Passes it to Alisson. Strikes it first time. Right-footed, downfield, and then hammered in the air by Porro. Big up and under, onto the head of Van Dijk. Brought under control by Jones. Plays it forward towards Jota. Gets away from Basuma. Then actually, Basuma comes back a second chance. Leans into him and gets the first yellow card of the night. Basuma is booked.
Yeah, Alisson didn't take any risks outside of the foot, pushes it forward, then Spurs didn't really get first contact. Basuma tries a couple of times, and then there's another coming together. Is he unlucky there, Deno, to get a yellow card? Is it intentional, or do you have to just stay away when there is a break in the middle of the pitch? I've been there as a midfielder where you're going tight, but you can't really get out of the way. You've got to try to do it. And it's just one of those. You understand why the referee gives it, but what you're supposed to do, you're just battling to get back in position.
Stuart Atwell is the referee. Paul Tierney on VAR. Wasn't used last night, but we do, of course, have the opportunity of the first use of in-stadium VAR announcements in this competition. As this free kick for Liverpool, all in red, playing from left to right, is 30 yards out from goal. Tsimikas plays it in. McAllister's header is straight at the goalkeeper, and in the end it was a comfortable save for Kinski. Bended knee, head height, comfortable save.
Yeah, he just goes ahead of the line, really. McAllister, we said we hadn't heard from him there, was his opportunity. There wasn't much pace on the ball. The goalkeeper was delighted that it just went straight central into his hands.
He's very comfortable with the ball at his feet, I would say. But Kulusevski loses in the midfield to Gravenberg. He kept 14 clean sheets in 29 appearances this season for Slavia Prague. He's a player who Tottenham say have been tracking, the 21-year-old, for some time. £12.5 million the fee. It's a deal until 2031. Endo running back away from Kulusevski to Alisson. Hesitates, closed down by Kulusevski. Tsimikas under pressure, clears it on that far side, and then the assistant referee has waved his flag, and that'll be a free kick to Liverpool. Half-time at Celtic, Gavin Wallace.
At half-time, Celtic 1, Dundee United 0. Dyson Miera's fifth league goal of the season. It was really cheaply given away by Vico Savelj at the edge of the box. McCowan's shot saved, and the Japanese frontman was there on the scene quickest to slam home. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0, Deno.
Thank you, Gavin. Had two chances each, really, haven't we? If you think of the McAllister effort, the Salah shot wide, two efforts for Tottenham from Son that was saved, almost followed in by Dragishin, and then Solanke with that flick at the near post, but it remains 0-0 as 35 minutes are on the clock.
That McAllister one was a good chance, though. So when you get that ball, whiz the cross, and then just guide the header. Maybe that lack of pace didn't help. McAllister, but still, probably expected a better outcome. They test the goalkeeper rather than straight at him.
He scored the second goal in Liverpool's 6-3 win just a couple of weeks ago, which was actually his first goal in the Premier League this season for Liverpool, for the Argentine World Cup winner. 5 Live. Endo into the centre circle, plays it out towards Bradley. Liverpool making the 4 changes. Bradley infield, Salah lets it run through to Jota, then he chases after the ball from Jota. Archie Gray keeps the ball in play and showed good strength to hold off Salah. Spence though now has to turn away from Jota, still defending to do for Tottenham, but under pressure I think they get the nod of approval from a certain Michael Brown.
Yeah, he does so well for a young player like that. Mo Salah almost does him on the line, flicks it through his legs, gets his arm up, recovers, he doesn't panic, then he plays out. Really good to see that, but that was good play as well, wasn't it? Bradley whizzing the ball inside, Mo Salah awareness, lets it through his legs and gets the reverse, but it was clever from Liverpool.
He's 18 years of age and he's probably had more game time than maybe Tottenham would have wanted to see, but such an exciting and talented prospect is Archie Gray. And of course you'll know about what good stock he comes from as well, when you think that his great nephew Eddie is the son of Andy, and his granddad Frank as Tottenham Hotspur with Dragishin, who continues his run after feeding the ball towards Solanke, doesn't have the legs for it to reach Johnson, and Tsimikas breaks up the move on that far side. But they were prepared to commit. The white and navy shirts there were Tottenham.
No, I didn't doubt that. They go full tilt, but it's a poor pass, wasn't it? Right in the Johnson's saying, just put it in behind. Here goes Bradley.
Bradley now with a strong run on this near side, the right. Gets a throw with Spence, who is being tested. Son was also keen to come and help out for Tottenham from the throw.
You talked about Archie Gray. Jed Spence wouldn't have got an opportunity anywhere near if it wasn't for the injuries, and I think he's took it well. We've got to as well look at the position he's playing. Left back, not right back.
Yes.
I think he's doing very well, and now he's getting a run. Yes, defensively he's not always sound, but on the ball he tries things.
Great noise that is being generated inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, with the exception of that south stand, that giant cantilever stand away towards our right that holds 17,500, three-tiered elsewhere around this ground, as Tsimikas won't keep that ball in play on that far side. I think it's fair to say we're in one of the best stadiums in Europe.
Honestly, every time I come walking up to the stadium, and we did some interviews before when it was just starting to fill up, it's got everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, certainly has. The largest club ground in England, although yet to see a goal so far in this first half, not helped by the 2 injuries. And of course, as soon as we get an update on the state of Bentancur at Tottenham Hotspur, then we will deliver you that news here on 5 Live, and of course the BBC Sport website with its live text service is also worth keeping an eye on. Here is Spence on this near side to Basuma. Son, closely marked by Endo. Central defender had gone a long way to track the South Korean. Bradley goes to ground, wins the challenge back to his feet. Spence and Bradley going for a good 50-50. Ball stays in play. That was a good old tussle that you would have relished.
Yeah, I would have, and I'm just thinking, please, there you go. You can hear the supporters like that coming together between the two, fully committed. It was almost one of those where Jed Spence went, and I'm thinking, oh, is it just slightly high over the top? But it was just spot on, and that's always the worry when you go with that physicality, because every angle, every shot can make it look a lot worse, and that's just a fully too committed with no intent whatsoever.
Well, despite all the injuries and added to the absence of Maddison and Sarr through suspension tonight, these Spurs players are still playing for Postecoglou. You can't deny that. Here is Bradley down the line on this near side. Basuma gets there first before Jones. Kulusevski waits on the left touchline, feeds it now towards Son. Alisson was alert, quickly off his goal line and makes the save low down, rolls it out towards McAllister. Bergvall slides into the challenge. Johnson is there as well. Spurs are very committed. Liverpool pick up the loose ball. Gakpo on that far side, the left. But Johnson recovers and gets a sliding challenge in. And listen to the noise and how the crowd on that far side respond.
Brilliant from Brennan Johnson. He just didn't give it up, did he? First one went in, didn't go for him. He was up, he followed. And a big tackle. I don't mind that. You know, you set the tempo, you want to get the supporters, your teammates. Talked about confidence and desire. Just something like that can give you a lift, give you that little bit of an edge, that 1% momentum change in a game, that fine lines. I talked about Liverpool slow it down and wait, realise Spurs are just gathering slightly.
The 4 giant TV screens in each corner of the ground here say that we're in the 41st minute. But there would, I imagine, be at least 10 minutes of added on time on 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. It also, next to the crest of Tottenham Hotspur in Liverpool, says 0-0, as it's a tight affair. No sign of the chaos that ensued just a couple of weeks ago, though it was a terrific listen to John and Clinton that afternoon on 5 Live. Here is Jota dropping deep.
Just look at Spurs' line there, creeping up, back pass, there we go, we move forward. Porro tried to do it early and he almost got caught out as that little 1-2 with Tsimikas going in and the ball wasn't good enough. It's so dangerous, but it's effective if you can get it right.
Jota's now appearing on this near side, the Liverpool right, all in red. Bradley will go back to Alisson, hits it first time. Van Dijk brings it under control outside the edge of his penalty area. His forward ball to Gravenberch, who then waits, and Spurs have got every white and navy shirt back behind the ball at this stage. Endo alongside Van Dijk, passes the ball out to his left. Liverpool are being patient. Salah's now come to the left after momentarily being in a central role. Jota has gone back central, Gakpo's on the left, but Liverpool keeping the ball and almost trying to draw Spurs out?
They're just waiting for them to drop down and then they'll play one like that. It's not effective, it wasn't good, but you see the point. That's it, wait for it, then create that 1v1 in the wider area. Porro just does leave that area. As I said before, he was up on the halfway line and you can't catch him out.
It was a ball from Endo that he pulled and it curled in and landed in between Tsimikas and Gakpo on the Liverpool left. Dragusin hits the ball over the top. Bergvall will give chase, but that is a lost cause as it races away from him, and it will go out of play for a Liverpool goal kick that Alisson takes as the Liverpool supporters, some of them are swirling their red and white scarves around their heads. They're making a lot of noise, that 6,000 travelling support on such a cold night. The majority of the scarves are remaining around the necks of the Liverpool fans as Basuma finds Son. Spence has gone bombing ahead of him, infield to Kulusevski, loses the ball. Jota midway through the Liverpool half, nutmegs Basuma, comes forward, now feeds it towards Salah. Jota makes the run behind Salah, who runs at the heart of the Tottenham defence, commits Dragusin, finds Gakpo, overlap, Tsimikas with a cut back. Bergvall was there, sliding 6 yards out to clear the ball away. I wondered if Tsimikas was going to have a go at goal. Ball played back towards McAllister. Liverpool still attacking. McAllister fouled. Direct free kick, 25 yards out from goal, 0-0.
Oh, Diego Jota coming out right into the middle. That nutmeg was ridiculous. Gets to the other side and Mo Salah firing. Gakpo waiting for Tsimikas on the overlap. He's unselfish, pushes the ball central. Bergvall, great recovery run. Just past the penalty spot. That's that area where the pullback comes in. As a midfielder, you've got to get into that area. You've got to go try and stop any runners. He did his job and he did it very well.
The young Swede was alive to the danger that Liverpool possessed on that break. Now, Antonin Kinski, another blonde youngster in this Tottenham Hotspur side, is marshalling the wall. Bergvall is actually part of that three-man wall on the edge of the area. He's all in yellow with his short-sleeved goalkeeper jersey, Kinski. Tsimikas with his free kick. He's actually brought it a little bit further away from where it was. Right arm goes aloft, it's left-footed, it's curled in, and Archie Gray heads it up rather than away. Basuma under pressure, cleared it, and then it's helped further away by Porro on the edge of the area by Tottenham.
Just a bit of calmness there. Ange Postecoglou, 2 arms, sort of saying calm, wait. It's easy saying that from the sideline when you're in the penalty box when it's dropped in and around, and you want to get it away.
Hasn't been tested seriously though, Kinski, yet, has he? It was a comfortable save from that McAllister header.
There will be time for it, I can tell you that.
Well, referring the fact that they've only failed to score once in 28 games under Arne Slot is a statistic to underline that opinion of yours, Michael, as we wait to see how much added on time there will be. And it will be 11 minutes of added on time, which comes as no surprise. 11 minutes of added on time in this first half, 0-0. And that, in bulk, is due to that serious injury to Bentancur, as Jones picks it up just outside the centre circle. McAllister plays it right-footed out towards Tsimikas, far side. Jones makes the run ahead of him. Too much on it. Out of play, it goes for a goal kick. Goalless.
Yeah, I've seen some good things, some bad things. Again, you make changes in and around the team. That passing has got to be crisp. The weight of pass, and on that occasion, just drifted out. I think that'll be one thing. Arne Slot will be saying, come on, let's get our passing a little bit better. Timings, the energy's there.
Kinski, that was a hurried clearance under pressure. Bouncing ball headed on by Bradley. Good downward header though by Basuma. Got on top of it, controlled it. Kulusevski though, barged off the ball by Bradley. Fair challenge coming together. Bradley just had the greater momentum. Here is Gravenberch near side the right. Plays it back down the line towards the halfway line. And Endo as a central defender to Van Dijk. Quickly passes it out towards Tsimikas. Runs forward. Gakpo coming in off that left touch line. Leaves it now for Jota. Runs left hand side. Plays it back. This is McAllister, 25 yards out from goal. Weighted forward ball. Tsimikas unmarked. Tsimikas with a cross. Dragusin heads it away.
Better quality needed. Great build-up. You see Conor Bradley's recovery run, sensational. Kulusevski did it to Gravenberch, and then he got it back as Bradley had that momentum, as you said, but then Liverpool better, quicker, forward passing, and then that quality of delivery. Tsimikas has got to do better.
There's only one Conor Bradley, sang the Liverpool supporters. If Alexander-Arnold does move on, then Bradley, the 21-year-old who they signed from Dungannon Swifts in 2019, is certainly a fine replacement as Gakpo cuts in. Shot blocked by Porro inside the penalty area. Came off the bench against Manchester United at the weekend after missing the previous 8 games with a thigh injury. He'll benefit with the run out of the Northern Ireland international here tonight in North London on this chilly, but for the time being, dry night. 0-0. And we are into the third of the 11 minutes of added on time, and Liverpool have a throw midway through their own half. Tight.
It is very tight there. Kulusevski just looking to, he uses his body just to get into good position, but great unselfish work from Jota.
Gakpo forward, opportunity to run and test Porro with a cut back. Salah prevented it from reaching Jota, and as he gets the shot away, falling backwards inside the D, it's off target. Had he left it, Jota coming onto that would have had a real sight of goal.
It must be hard, you know, when Mo Salah's anywhere around the penalty area, say, pass it to me. You just almost go on, you do it, because we know what you can do. Gakpo getting down the line. First time we've seen that in behind Spurs, and it's a good ball across. Desperate defending, Jed Spence going tight. Mo Salah just flicked it with that right foot over the bar.
Jones flicks it forward. Jota hooks it over his head towards the penalty area. Here is Salah, leaves it off his left thigh for Jota. Kulusevski battling away, holds off Jota. Bergvall now will take over, running forward midway through his own half. And then to Kulusevski on this near side. Just comes away from Gravenberch, invites Basuma to come forward over the halfway line. Tracked by Jones, return ball to Basuma, goes square and inside. Bergvall opens it up. This now is Johnson. Johnson on the edge of the area, shot left-footed, blocked from inside the penalty area by the legs of Van Dijk. McAllister is there for Liverpool, but he gives the ball away. Kulusevski with interception, and there's a little slip by Porro. Tries to prod it to Kulusevski. There was Jota, now taken on by Gakpo. Only Salah is ahead of him. A stumbling Gakpo continues to run and gets the shot away. Oh, and it was almost spilt there by Antonin Kinski, but he gathered the ball in gratefully at the second attempt. 0-0.
Yeah, he did, very cool. Almost got to the right hand side. Jota influencing the game more and more, just pinching the ball from Spurs, just nicks in behind, and then that shot comes, Gakpo 25 yards out centrally. He's going to do well to beat the goalkeeper, although a little bit of a wobble. It was a great battle watching Jed Spence, Mo Salah running forward, and what he did, he said, right, he grabbed him and said, you're not getting the other side of me. Physically, that's what you've got to do. You've got to be aware of where he's at, no space.
It remains 0-0 here on 5 Live. Kinski's ball over the top. Son makes the run. He's got Solanke with him. He plays the ball into the inside left channel of the penalty area. Here is Solanke down by the byline, and he tries to nudge it past Endo, and he just only succeeds in knocking the ball out of play for a goal kick. That's going to be a feature of Anthony Kinski, isn't it? Them balls out from the penalty area. They're going to try, and you know how we've seen Edison do it so many times for Manchester City.
Yeah, you can see straight away. He waits, and then ultimately he can unleash it. Son coming in that left-hand side, getting to space, but it's a great one to have.
Jota instinctively spreads the ball out towards Gakpo. Gakpo's onto it, but an outstretched left leg by Porro will dispossess Gakpo. And then Tsimikas joining his colleague to try and help out, and then Porro plays it away off the legs of the Greek left back, and it will be a goal kick to Tottenham. And we've still got 5 minutes of added on time remaining. 0-0 on 5 Live.
Yeah, good battle in the wider positions. Porro, Jed Spence. Look at the people, Gakpo and Jota and Mo Salah. He's the goalkeeper, Kinski as well. There it is again. That diagonal pass. He's not afraid to play it.
He took the goal kick short, and then he hit a right-footed ball on the diagonal out towards Johnson over his head. Liverpool will have a throw just over the halfway line. And Tsimikas waits to take it, and then infield, and gets good distance on the throw. Helped on its way by Jones to Endo. And Jones on the edge of his centre circle, passes the ball back. Van Dijk now towards McAllister. Gakpo comes in off the left. Gakpo tries to place it just over the top. Couldn't keep it down. Goal kick. Tottenham goal kick.
Counted very quickly there, Liverpool. Gakpo running at Porro. It's a nice run from Alexis McAllister around the outside to give him an option. But he decides not to use it. Comes inside on that right foot. Just tries to bend it far corner. Just couldn't get it right.
Here is Van Dijk on the halfway line, just playing the ball out to that Tsimikas. Despite Johnson's presence, he doesn't go back towards his goalkeeper. He plays it to Endo. Jet black hair of the Japanese international, back to Alisson. Little hop from Alisson before he finds the feet of Bradley. Hits the ball long from right back. Dragusin will head it forward, picked up by Salah. Hit it early and hit it straight towards Porro, who was tucked in the right back. Crowd were groaning there because Porro wasn't a forward ball, but he kept the ball for Spurs. Here is Archie Gray, finds Son. He tried to lay it off towards Spence. Bradley with the interception, darts forward now as a result. Bradley now, edge of the area. Dragusin clears. Spence says this one's mine, lays it off to Bergvall. Small triangular passing patterns from Tottenham Hotspur midway through their own half, and they are comfortable with the ball as Spence opens it up and Porro makes himself available in that central role. And the right back now can run forward and finds Johnson. Tried to hit it early for the run of Kulusevski, trying to get it in behind Tsimikas, and Spurs have to go back. The idea, had it come off, would have released Kulusevski. Kulusevski now finds Spence, joining the attack and running forward from left back. Son to his left, forced out wide, left side of the penalty area, first time cross. Bergvall climbs. Bergvall's header is a tame one, easily saved by Alisson, still goalless.
Yeah, great pass, Kulusevski. Jed Spence just waiting to go and join in. Pinpoint crossfield pass, and then drives into the space. Son's just waiting on that left-hand side, but the pass is too wide. And as Son tries to wrap his foot around, the pace is gone. It's a comfortable one for the goalkeeper, but that's that detail. It's hard to say when you're travelling at such quick speeds, but that's the difference.
Gray's done well, stepping out of defence, stabs the ball forward. Kulusevski, though, loses out in the challenge to grab him, but it was another 50-50 that Kulusevski just wasn't strong enough. Here now is Jota, carries the ball forward. finds Salah. 2 minutes of stoppage time remain, 0-0. Jones outside the area, Gakpo to his left, Gakpo with the cross, Spence clears it only as far as Jones, still inside the box, Jones can't get a sight of goal, plays it back, Tsimikas, edge of the area, Gakpo. Spurs crowd looking for an offside from Gakpo. Ball chipped forward, downward header by Spence is away. Gravenberch stoops, heads it out towards Bradley, near side the right. Is there to be a goal just before half-time? The Liverpool supporters find their voices at the other end of the ground. As Tsimikas on that far side the left with the cross. Spence is there once again, well positioned, volleys it away. Cushioned control there by Van Dijk. In towards McAllister, along the ground, rolls it towards Endo, just outside the centre circle, to this near side, to Bradley, onto his right foot, gets the ball back from Gravenberch. Liverpool being patient, Spurs have everybody back inside their own half. Vocal encouragement comes from the Tottenham supporters now, trying to keep this Spurs side going to the break for what has felt like a very, very long first half for them with the injuries that we've had. Here is Tsimikas, goes square, Gravenberch just over 30 yards out from goal. Dragishin finds Basuma. Liverpool though win it back. Fair challenge to McAllister. Gakpo, left-hand side of the penalty area. This is Jota, gets the shot away early. Blocked by the Spurs defence. Comes back towards Jota and Porros will marshal the ball out for a goal kick. Spurs did well under pressure, 0-0.
Yeah, defended very well. Liverpool just moving it side to side, trying to thread little balls in behind midfield runners as well, making you aware, but Porro just showing the line a little bit too much as Gakpo tries to push it. That's the only thing. Jed Spence just really drifting a little bit deeper when they're trying to play an offside trap, but overall I think it was a really interesting first half of football. Spurs contributed, they looked sharper on the counter, but we were expecting more goals, Dano.
But it remains 0-0 at half-time. Son tested Alisson earlier on, and then there was that serious injury to Bentancur that in many ways has overshadowed the first half. Solanke also had a near-post flick for Tottenham. Liverpool responding with a Salah effort that was wide and McAllister's header that was comfortably saved by Kinski. But half-time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on this cold night, it's Spurs 0, Liverpool 0. Steve?
Yeah, Michael, I think we're all just thinking about Rodrigo Bentancur at the moment, aren't we? I imagine in the stadium, because obviously just sort of watching the pictures here and listening to you guys, it sounded like the whole stadium kind of was holding its breath for a little while there.
For sure. I think straight away the players' reaction, Porro darted, he's seen it early and he was quite a way away and he was over there quickly, the medical staff up around it. We were just watching obviously Son pushing the ball back, Dragishin and the save, and then you start to look and think, wow, this is a huge problem, and these supporters have been there before. We've seen other players in that situation over the years here. Medical team fully equipped and they did the job and they were right on top of it. And what I would say, Steve, it was a little thing is Bentancur was just leaving right underneath me. I just seen his hand come up to one of the medical staff, and it was something of me as off to go, well, there's something, there's a feedback. His hand sort of went up and sort of as he whispered something to him. So we wish him well and his family, but it was a huge concern, and football wasn't important for that 5 or 10 minutes. Steve.
Absolutely. Charlie Adams with us in studio as well. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a fan, a teammate, a manager, it's sort of feeling of helplessness watching that, isn't it?
No, it's not nice to see, and like I said, you said it in the studio as well. I think he raised his hand and gives you a little bit more of that he might be okay, and it's never nice to see players go down, but again the medical teams nowadays doing an unbelievable job in terms of the way they try and look after the players and how they deal with these situations, how serious it is, and how if it could be depends on what situation it is to now. They take real care in what they're doing, and that's why they're the best in the business, and hopefully the lad's okay and he makes a full recovery.
Yeah, and I mean for anyone who missed it earlier, he was basically trying to win a header inside the penalty area. There was no other player around him, and he obviously landed really, really awkwardly, and I think whenever you're in that situation and there's no replays or anything like that, those are the kind of moments where you just think, oh, this is obviously going to be quite a bad one.
Well, to be honest with you, I was just funnily enough messaging Charlie there at half time, and I was just telling him that I was at White Hart Lane when Fabrice Muamba collapsed. I was doing the commentary with David Pleat that day, and when from a commentator's point of view, all you can do is try and describe what you've seen, but then equally not speculate. I mean, I'm certainly no medical expert, but after what's happened in previous incidents where we've seen, what's happened to Christian Eriksen at the Euros in recent years, you just got to try and say what you've seen, what you think you've seen, and then and not speculate until we get further information from the club. But like you, I would echo the thoughts that we wish him well, and also endorse what Michael and Charlie have been saying, that he's going to get the best possible care.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael's right about Pedro Porro as well, reacted incredibly quickly in that moment. And if we hear anything else about Rodrigo Bentancur, we'll let you know. And obviously thoughts with him and his friends and family. Look, really, really nasty injury. Michael, Ian, thank you for the time being. Much more to come from Charlie as well. And it is Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0, half-time in the League Cup semi-final first leg. Let's take you to Celtic Park, Scottish Premiership action tonight as well. Celtic Dundee United, Gavin Wallace.
Yes, Celtic 1, Dundee United 0, 55 minutes on the clock. The goal came though on 23. Dyson Mieres, 5th league goal of the season. It was kind of Keystone Cop defending. Savelj gave it away really cheaply. Luke McCowan's initial shot on the edge of the box was well saved, and the Japanese frontman Steve was there to slam home ahead of everyone else. Celtic, the pressure, it's been about 81-82% possession, so I think it's probably a case of when they score their next. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0.
And the other game in Scotland is Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 0. 55 minutes gone in that one. We'll talk Women's Ashes. We'll be live in Sydney shortly. We'll have more on the news that Graham Potter is going to be the new manager of West Ham United. We'll speak live to our own Glenn Murray, who of course played under him at Brighton. We'll do all of that after the news with Lisa McCormick.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Thanks, Steve. MPs have voted against the Conservatives' demands for a national inquiry into grooming gangs. The move would have blocked the government's Children's Wellbeing in School bill. The Prime Minister says a further inquiry could delay action on tackling child sexual abuse. Chris Philp is the Shadow Home Secretary.
More and more towns have emerged where this was happening, and look, we just need to get to the truth. This is too important to brush under the carpet, and only a full inquiry with legal powers to compel witnesses to attend will get to the bottom of this.
Senior NHS boss has apologised for delays and problems at hospitals across England, saying a surge in demand means that wards are bursting with patients. Around 20 NHS trusts have declared critical incidents. Professor Julian Redhead from NHS England has acknowledged that some patients are facing unacceptable delays. The US military will be providing additional assets to crews dealing with wildfires burning in and around Los Angeles. President Biden announced the move during a visit there. 2 people have died and thousands have had to leave their homes. Orly Israel is among them.
We were told to evacuate around 10 a.m., maybe 11 a.m., but we probably didn't leave until 5 o'clock because we were battling the fire. We had garden hoses and we were fighting it until we couldn't stay there any longer. My face is still burnt. My eyes are still stinging. So we had a decent amount of time, but, used as best we could, I guess.
The mother of a teenage boy who was stabbed to death in southeast London yesterday afternoon said she tried to stop him associating with gangs. Killian Bokassa, who was 14, was attacked in a bus in Woolwich. No arrests have been made yet. And scientists say they have the most robust evidence to date that a large glass of milk a day may protect against bowel cancer. A study of around 500,000 women, which was published in the journal Nature, found that those with calcium in the diet can reduce the risk of bowel cancer by almost a fifth.
The Football Daily Podcast.
I'm Ian Dennis, John Murray, Ali Bruce Ball and myself are 5 Live football commentators. We'll be hosting and getting together on a new podcast on the Football Daily feed.
Bringing our own insight into what it's like being in the commentary box and in the media areas.
If anyone's tuned in for this wondering what commentators we're going to talk about and thought it might be a little bit geeky, then they've got exactly that in the first 5 minutes.
Inside, John. From Wembley to Wrexham and from Bradford to the Bernabeu. The commentator's view
on the Football Daily feed.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
It is Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0 in the League Cup semi-final first leg. Second half commentary to come, heavily delayed because of a really nasty-looking injury suffered by Spurs midfielder Rodrigo Bentancur, who left the pitch on a stretcher. And if we have any update, then we will bring it to you. The Women's Ashes start on Saturday evening, UK time, with the first of 3 ODIs. Full commentary of the whole series on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds, including a one-off warm-up match this evening in Sydney against a Governor-General's 11. Coverage starts from 10:45. Our cricket reporter Henry Moran is there. Good evening, Henry.
Good evening, good morning from a very rainy and rather grey Sydney, I have to say. Yesterday it absolutely poured. It was a little warmer than it is back home, but England weren't able to train as much as they would have wanted to yesterday, and so we've got to keep our fingers crossed that this Governor-General's match at North Sydney Oval is played in its entirety, because this is England's big chance for a warm-up ahead of the series.
Henry, I think I speak for absolutely all of our listeners when I say, what is the Governor-General's 11?
Well, it is essentially it is an Australian young side made up of players that in the main are going to be the ones dominating, no doubt, the world game in years to come. But there's also some very experienced heads in there as well, not least the Australian captain Elisa Healy, who is returning from injury that she picked up at the T20 World Cup. It's essentially a team that is put together nominally by the Governor-General, who is based here in Sydney. And it is the traditional warm-up that is played ahead of a series. But it's going to be a good test this for England. Georgia Wareham as well, part of the Australian side. So England will be really keen to get off to a good start. They had a fine tour of it in South Africa, and that has tuned them up nicely for this multi-format series. But there's pressure on England, no question about that. They've not held the Ashes since 2013-14, and that is now. You know, it's a long time ago in the world of sport that you're looking at different generations of players having taken part in that series over a decade ago. So there's pressure on England, and they want to get off to a good start and get as many overs out there today as they can.
Let's hear from Tammy Beaumont then. She's already told reporters that she would like to see 3 tests, 3 ODIs and 3 T20s in the Women's Ashes to give the series time to build a narrative. This series is 3 ODIs and a T20, but just 1 test. She's also been speaking about the England bowling unit.
I think our attack's looking really good. You know, the skill of Kate Cross, Nat Silver-Brunt, and then the height of those two. And Lauren Filer particularly, I think's really ready to fire out here and obviously have a bit more pace and bounce in the pitches. We saw in South Africa that, she was pretty scary. I was at short leg in the test match, and even I was thinking I need to take a step back here, and I'm not someone that ever takes a step back. I think it's great to see her, how she can go over here and really unleash her. And Lauren Bell's just developing even more and more the last few years, so I'm really excited to see how our seamers go in particular.
England with the ball and England with the bat as well, Henry. I was lucky enough to be there when Tammy Beaumont beat the record of the appropriately named for this time of year in England, Betty Snowball, and she continues to go from strength to strength. So what shape are England in, and also what shape are Australia in? Oh, we seem to have
South
lost.
Africa.
Oh, there we go, Henry, you're back. Go on, Henry, you're back. Sorry.
Hello. That series in South Africa was a really encouraging one for England, and they played an impressive Test match, and they look well tuned up for this Women's Ashes series. But the problem they have is they're playing against an Australian side that always seem to just be holding them off at arm's length and have such an amazing record. And the other challenge that you have to throw into all of this is England need to win the series outright if they are going to regain the Ashes. It's no good just levelling up the series as they did in the summer of 2023. You were there for that remarkable Test match, and then England winning the 2 white ball series. England have to win more games than they lose across the series and score more points than Australia. And the way that it works is you get a couple of points for each of the white ball matches and then 4 points for the Test match. And so it's going to be harder for England to get their hands on the trophy than it will Australia. And Australia are a fabulous cricketing side. They're stung by their defeat in the T20 World Cup as well. So I think it promises to be a brilliant series, but England are going to have to be at their absolute best.
Good stuff, Henry. Thank you very much indeed. The Women's Ashes starting this Saturday evening, the first of those 3 ODIs. Full commentary on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. And the infamous Governor-General's 11. England's opponents, 10:45 tonight, 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. We've just got time to talk a bit more about the news that Graham Potter's going to be appointed as the new West Ham manager after the sacking of Julian Lopetegui. Charlie Adams still with us in studio. Delighted to say that a man who played under him at Brighton is with us. It's our own Glenn Murray. Evening, Glenn.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you for having a quick chat with us. What do you think then?
I think it's positive. I think this is actually the one that Graham's been waiting for, in all honesty. He's had plenty of offers since he's been out of work, since his little spell at Chelsea, and he's refrained from going back in. And I feel as though this feels like the perfect fit for him.
Yeah, Glenn, Charlie here. I'd echo that. I think that, if you look at Graham's career and how he's progressed and the Brighton job and what he done there, I think obviously you look at Chelsea, but I think West Ham is a club that can go places. It's a great fan base, and ultimately now he's got to be able to handle a different type of pressure compared to Swansea and Brighton. Chelsea obviously is different because the pressure come because of the amount of players they sign, but again there's real pressure going to come from the supporters from day one. You won't get any time to bed in. I think from day one he has to be ready with his staff and get the players right on side. So what do you think he'll go in and change with that group of players that he has now at the moment?
Well, I understand the fan base. It's a very expectant fan base, isn't it? And that is ultimately why David Moyes left the post, because the football wasn't entertaining enough, even though the results were there, the finishes in the Premier League, obviously the European Cup that they won. But they need to be slightly patient if he's going to change the style of play, and he's going to develop something of some kind of substance. You know more than me, Charlie. Things take time in football. We're in a society now where everyone expects instant success. You click on the computer and something gets delivered tomorrow morning, or you download a film right away. But unfortunately, when you've got a group of players, it takes time to build relationships and things. And I think his time at Chelsea, you can see that group of players now they've had time to settle into the country, settle into the league, build those relationships and friendships off the field, and all of a sudden they look brilliant.
Great stuff, Glenn. Thank you very much. Great to have you on. Cheers.
Thank you.
Glenn Murray there. Looks like we're ready to go for the second half. With this, just seeing this from Tottenham Hotspur have confirmed Rodrigo Bentancur is conscious, talking, and will now go to hospital for further checks. That is very, very good news. Teams on their way back out at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ian.
Thank you, Steve. Spurs have made no alterations. So Kinski's in goal, the debutant, Czech under-21 international keeper. Porro, Dragoshin, Gray and Spence, Basuma, Bergvall, Kulusevski, Johnson, the replacement for Bentancur, Solanke and Son. White and navy shirts, navy shorts. Spurs in the second half will be playing from left to right as we look against the Liverpool side, all in red, that have Alisson in goal. They too made a change. Quansah coming off with what looked like a muscle injury. So Bradley, Endo, Van Dijk and Tsimikas in front of Alisson. McAllister, Gravenberch and Jones in the midfield. Salah, Jota and Gakpo as our referee Stuart Atwell gets ready, blows his whistle, and we're back underway for the second half. But that certainly is encouraging news regarding Rodrigo Bentancur after that head injury, that he is conscious and talking, and he will have further tests. So with that news, Spurs, I'm sure their teammates of Bentancur will be buoyed by the fact that he is in such a state after the worry and concern after that injury 8 minutes into the contest here in North London. Yet to have a goal, these two sides, 25 goals in the previous 4 meetings. There hasn't been a goalless draw between them since October 2015, and Liverpool have scored in all 20 of those fixtures since. 0-0, however. Michael.
Yeah, interesting start there. Virgil van Dijk getting put under pressure. Alisson deals with it, gives him it straight back. He clips it out wide, and Basuma pressing very, very quickly. Good battle in the middle with him and McAllister, but who's going to take control? There's lots of talk about lots of goals expected, and we hope we didn't want to disappoint with the 0-0, but it's been an interesting 0-0 so far.
Jota thrown to the floor. Spurs give away a free kick. McAllister wants to take it quickly. Sure whether that ball was still moving or not as he hit it into the legs of Porro, who now retreats.
He's tried to get me a yellow card. That's what he's done, hasn't he? Well, he plays it into the player. Well, the referee's saying we're not going to do that anymore. Rightly so.
Here is Endo. Liverpool do take the free kick. Michael Brown, the former Tottenham midfielder, part of the commentary team here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Charlie Adam, former Liverpool midfielder, is in the studio with Steve, as Gakpo sent away on this near side, the left. Liverpool in recent games, they've scored quite a lot of goals actually in the second half. They've probably scored more goals in the second half in recent games than they have in the first, as Tsimikas waits to take the throw. They do always seem to find a way under Arne Slot, as Solanke gets the better of Tsimikas, releases Johnson on this near side, the right. in front of the technical areas, goes to ground. Van Dijk came across. Van Dijk back towards Alisson. Spurs supporters are in uproar. They feel that there was a foul there from Van Dijk on Johnson.
I think the arm came across into his sort of chest area. I was thinking, was Brennan Johnson going to try and run Van Dijk? He waited and then pushed it inside and went the other way round, and certainly got an arm across him.
Play continues. Still a number of the supporters in this impressive stadium still getting back to their seats in the second half after half-time refreshment. I'd imagine sales of warm drinks such as tea, coffee and good old-fashioned Bovril would have been soaring at half-time. Not necessarily drink, just to hold and keep the hands warm on such a chilly night. Kinski out to that far side to Spence. Goes out for a Tottenham throw. Thought you were going to say something there, Michael.
No, I was just listening. I think you were teeing me up for something. I don't know what it was.
As if I would do such a thing.
Yeah, you do that often, to be honest. Well, we have to smile. We have to enjoy it, don't we? Do you?
I always enjoy it when I'm alongside you, Michael.
Thank you.
You know that. As Spurs with a throw. Spence gets it back. Bundled to the floor by Jota. Stuart Atwell and the ironic cheers as the free kick is signalled, and Spurs just inside their own half on that far side the left have it. 4 minutes into the second period, still 0-0. Here is Jones. They do still have a number of key players to come off the bench to Liverpool. A number of youngsters on the Tottenham bench. Of course, they are short of numbers, but Diaz and Nunez, Elliott, Chiesa, Robertson and Alexander-Arnold.
I think that's going to tell you a story, isn't it? You know, and ask Hans Postecoglou what his bench. Lots of youngsters. That is an unbelievable strong bench.
Meanwhile, you could feel the Tottenham team of players who are unavailable to the 59-year-old Australian, as Liverpool are in no real hurry to take a throw on that far side to right.
It still amazes me that. Do you know where someone creeps forward by a couple of metres?
Yeah.
How much it annoys the supporters? And the players now tend to do it a little bit more, don't they, when they hear the reaction?
Here is McAllister. Turns, finds a bit of space. Jones with a quick swivel. Out to Salah on the right corner of the area. Salah looks up, left-footed ball. Gakpo on the stretch, couldn't get there. Over his head, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Oh, I know now why you were sheepish when I mentioned the Bovril. You've gone for reinforcements, haven't you?
No, I just think one's going to be delivered very soon. I think, yeah.
That's why you were
just wondering what you were saying. You were offered one, are you?
That's why you're looking as cheeky as you are.
You've got a sore throat, so you wanted to stick with your water and your medicine.
Dragishin downfield. Van Dijk is wary of the run of Solanke, making that diagonal run, and Van Dijk doesn't take any chances. He concedes a throw. On this near side, the Spurs right, and Stuart Atwell. Funny enough then, Solanke's tried to advance a few yards downfield.
Look at Hans clapping.
Yeah.
Like, rightly so. The officials have got it wrong almost, or let's make them stand out.
He was told to go back, as Porro now eventually takes it, closed down quickly, keeps it in play on this near side. Basuma plays it back to Dragishin. Now it is with Archie Gray, right-footed ball out towards Spence. Spurs, who've only kept one clean sheet in their last 11. That was against bottom of the table Southampton. Many expected that they could have been struggling just to stay in this tie, but it's been a committed display so far against the Premier League leaders from a side hit hard by injury, but working hard. Haven't got the best of records against Liverpool. They've only had one win in their last 15 in all competitions. But they're giving as good as they get here tonight.
I tell you what, he's took a nasty stamp there, Brennan Johnson. Not saying it's deliberate in any case, but when you look at it there, right on the top of his ankle. You see it?
Yeah. Tsimikas was the player. VAR not getting involved.
Are we going to hear from VAR today?
Well, we didn't last night at Arsenal, did we? The part of the trial that the referees will announce the final decision, the first use of in-stadium VAR announcements. Ange Postecoglou was asked about it. We all know his opinions about VAR, and he said, I'm not going to be a cheerleader for it. Here is Brennan Johnson on the halfway line. Basuma just outside the centre circle. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Here in North London, 0-0 it remains between Spurs and Liverpool. As Spence forward. Son stands still. Fires over the cross from that left-hand side. One bounce and it's into the arms of Alisson. Thought about the underarm release and then just plays it out to Endo to his right. Endo actually stands still, assesses his options, almost caught. Bradley closed down, loses the ball. Fortunate that it ran away. Liverpool get a throw.
I don't mind Liverpool, waiting in build-up, drawing the press on, but they need to just be a little bit sharper, a little bit quicker when receiving it, move it, take it away from the press, but just give Spurs some momentum. I don't think there'll be a massive rush, or this throw-in's causing a huge problem to the supporters because he's taken that much time.
There is much angst on that far side from the Spurs supporters. From the throw, Spurs now are in possession. Dragashin comes forward over the halfway line, stops not quite through the midway point of the Liverpool half. Bergval's loose ball goes out of play. An encouraging clap of the hand from Postecoglou to the young Swedish midfielder. He just says, calm it down. Don't think he can fault his players in any aspect, really. Ange Postecoglou, who has, as he's pointed out, a record of winning silverware in his second season in previous appointments. As Liverpool come forward, Gakpo centrally finds Salah, enters the penalty area, tried to tee up Bradley, blocked, comes back towards Salah, right hand side, outside the penalty area. Gravenberch back towards Endo. There's a strong smell of beef in the air here in our commentary position at the moment as the ball goes out towards that far side. Spence holds off the challenge of Salah and Tottenham will get a throw. Spence has played well.
Yeah, he has done very well. He's got control, he's looked comfortable under it, but no, it's just nice, isn't it? When we had Juliet, we used to get drinks delivered. No.
What are you saying
nice
now?
No, I know she's listening, that's all. So she's been mentioning the Bob Rowe.
Last night, producer George Cummins spilt his hot drink all over John Murray, I'm led to believe.
I'd like to see a picture of that, to be honest.
I'm wishing that I'd said yes, by the way. The smell is luring me in. 10 minutes into the second half, still 0-0. BBC Radio 5 Live. Everton Peterborough tomorrow night. FA Cup third round action begins on 5 Live. That's a 7:45 kickoff. Aston Villa West Ham United Friday night at 8 o'clock will also have live. And then so many commentaries over the weekend as the ball goes back to Alisson, and as he turned he was almost closed down by Bergval, who does dispossess him. Blocked by Van Dijk, comes back now towards Porro, shoots it goalwards and puts it wide. What a chance that was for Tottenham. Why did he go with a chip and not power the ball in? Spurs have missed a golden opportunity to take the lead.
Well, that was incredible. Whenever you get a chance to watch this, talked about goalkeepers being calm. He's tried to Cruyff turn it. Bergval said, OK, I'll go again. And he then tries to then play out. He catches him. And then it was a good reaction initially. There was one shot. And then as Porro gets the second one, he tries to dink it into that far corner. He's got all the time in the world to use the power. I didn't think it was the worst decision, but he's got to do better.
Surely he had to go for power rather than placement.
Did you see Hans fall to the floor on his knees with his head on the floor? That was a huge chance. Big mistake, such an experienced keeper. He talks about not used to coming into these cup competitions in particular, but what a big mistake.
Pedro Porro had an opportunity there to give Tottenham Hotspur the lead, but he didn't take it. Still in Scotland, there's no change. Celtic lead Dundee United by 1-0. It remains goalless at Rugby Park between Kilmarnock and Motherwell. It's 0-0 here too in this League Cup semi-final first leg, with 12 minutes into the second half. But that was by far the best chance of the game for either side. Salah, midway through the Tottenham half, to Gravenberch. They're attacking the end, playing from right to left in all red, where their 6,000 supporters are halfway behind that goal, as Gakpo, left corner of the area, rides up and comes off his left thigh. plays it back. McAllister away from Kulusevski. Great noise from the Tottenham Hotspur supporters too, as the ball is chipped out to Tsimikas. Lets it settle, brings it under control, plays it back. McAllister's forward ball. Gakpo steadies himself, back towards McAllister. Endo now towards Salah. Just when Spurs are defending, the home support find their voices, playing their part as well. They know the situation with their team short, with reduced options, with injury and suspension. They're trying to be the 12th man.
Well, they are being
great noise.
Yeah, you're right. But that's a big chance. Can they recover? Can they get another one? The press is good. Liverpool now, when you talk about the players they've got available, will just keep coming. They'll be cool and composed.
Nice layoff by Jones to Bradley, now towards Salah. Salah's crossfield ball. McAllister, his little layoff when he was leaping, gave the ball away. I thought that might have been a foul there by Bradley on Son. Referee Stuart Atwell says not. Son has stayed down, which is a concern for Tottenham. Liverpool continue. Salah level the area. Salah's cross, and Kinski, running back, actually drops the ball on the goal line and gathers it at the second attempt. I think he was mindful of carrying the ball over the goal line, was the young Czech keeper.
Yeah, he just pushed it. It was that deep cross, and he's right on the line. He just sort of parries it, ready to take again. But because it's a new goalie, under pressure, Jota right in front, but calmly just takes it. Very, very cool. But it was a big challenge, wasn't that, on Son from Bradley? Whether there was any ball and player, comes and gets his foot around it, but they're not happy.
Liverpool are going to make a double change. Jota is, in fact, a triple change. So again, this is going to be Alexander-Arnold, Diaz and Nunez coming on. Jota is one of the players coming off. So Nunez will come on for Jota. He'll go through the middle. We've got Bradley, who's going to be coming off. Again, coming back from injury. I'm sure he'll feature against Accrington at the weekend in the FA Cup. A game that you'll be able to hear on Sports Extra. Incidentally, it's a 12:15 kickoff. And the other change was Cody Gakpo, who scored 3 in 3, but unable to add to his tally of 12 for the season, as Luis Diaz comes on to replace him. So a triple change being made by their Dutchman on a slot for Liverpool with half an hour remaining.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? To bring them on. Trent Alexander-Arnold get an opportunity. You know that right foot. He's got Son to worry about. He just creeps into that left side. No, the referee's under a little bit of pressure. He didn't want to give that there, did he? He just listened to the crowd and then he said, OK, fair enough. Solanke's been fouled, and the crowd were happy.
Just a reminder, 111 domestic games.
Oh, it's a nasty challenge, that.
Since Tottenham Hotspur.
See that? Virgil van Dijk puts his studs right into the back of Solanke calf eye.
I didn't see it, no. Although VAR must have had a look at it. Dragishin forward. Nunez gives chase. Dragishin back towards Kinski. Goalkeeper touches the ball, takes it back inside to his 6-yard area, and then left it late before clearing left-footed. Nunez was closing down quickly. Still it remains 0-0. 61 minutes played. VAR must have had a look at it.
Yeah, they must have had a look. Whether it's enough for a red card, I think that's the point. But yeah, it wasn't great. But the goalkeeper there, did he not learn his lesson the round before? Foster got caught, let Man United back in it.
Tsimikas with a cross, Nunez with a header, Kinski with a save. Head height, two-handed, quite comfortable in the end.
Yeah, good delivery, right in the centre of the penalty area. Nunez tries to guide it into that far corner, comes to one for the goalkeeper. Spurs decide to play out again. This is risky.
First chance that Liverpool have created in the second half. There's been a goal at Celtic. Gavin Wallace.
Now Rio Hitati cut it back. It was a lovely cross in towards the Japanese front man. He cut it back. Rio Hitati was there just inside the box to slam home. Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. Ian.
And it remains Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 0. Celtic, though, with that 2-goal cushion now, will go 16 points clear of Rangers, although Rangers will have a game in hand at the top of the Scottish Premiership. 62 minutes played then. 0-0 it remains. Porro with a throw. Gravenberg Slight acceleration by Van Dijk. I think he thought that was going to go back to Alisson. In the end, they dealt with it. Alexander-Arnold over on that far side now, midway through the Spurs half, closed down by Son. Long ball, Nunez is onto it, gets past Archie Gray, hits it in early, and the goalkeeper Kinski dives forward, dives low, and makes the save.
Yeah, good communication. Always a new partnership. What do you do? The goalkeeper has the confidence. Does he delay? Does he wait? Does he command the area? He's done that so far.
In the first half, if you've been with us from the very start, you'd have heard me say that Spurs have never lost a semi-final at home in the first leg. Liverpool, of their previous 19 semi-finals, 10 have been away from home. They've won 4, they've lost 5, and they've drawn 1, but they've progressed in 7 of those 10 ties overall. It remains 0-0. Here is Jones to Gravenberch. Turns, Endo joins the attack. Spurs have got everybody back inside their own half, and they're defending deep. Cross from Alexander-Arnold, partially clear. Gravenberch just enough to touch it into the path of Jones. The ball into the penalty area. Archie Gray, composed defending, step out of defence. He's done very well, and it's not a bad ball either to release Kulusevski. And all of a sudden the break is on for Spurs, and Kulusevski right hand side of the penalty area. It's a tired looking cross, blocked by Van Dijk. Comes back to Kulusevski, looks up, plays the ball back. Porro keeps it in play on this near side the right, 30 yards out from goal. The return ball by Bergvall is poked out of play by Nunez. It's a Spurs throw, still goalless.
What about Archie Gray there, driving through into midfield from defence under pressure, then didn't just waste it outside of his foot into Kulusevski, set him away. As you said, ran out of steam. He has covered so much. He tries to deliver right across the face of Liverpool's goal, but it went away. Just a bit more quality. Here he goes.
Kulusevski right hand side of the penalty area, back towards Bergvall. Bergvall with the cross, volleyed clear. Outstretched right leg by Alexander-Arnold, falls towards the dark-haired youngster of Gray. Bissouma plays it back. Dragishin down the line. Porro back towards Bissouma. Jones was quick to get a foot in there. It comes off the legs of Jones, and out of play it goes for a throw. And at the moment, there is still no sign of the deadlock being broken here. Ange Postecoglou, in his chunky grey, thick padded coat, head bowed, pacing up and down in the technical area. Kulusevski, forward ball. Solanke couldn't find Johnson. Tsimikas with a back pass towards Alisson. Will we have a breakthrough goal, I wonder? Ball from Endo. Gravenberch rolls away from Bergvall. Did well under pressure. Tsimikas midway through the Liverpool half. Switches play to Alexander-Arnold. Bounces up for him. Rears up a fraction. Forward ball to Jones. Out towards Salah. Back towards Jones. Quick ball into the penalty area. Missed. Luis Diaz with his back to goal. Now looks to turn. Diaz passes the ball forward. Takes a deflection. And gathered in by Kinski diving forward. The young Spurs keeper 0-0. 66 minutes played, Michael Brown.
Yeah, it's just not dropping, is it? Really quick there from Liverpool. Fizzing the ball across. Spurs is trying to get numbers to recover, to get behind the ball as it ricochets into Kinski's hands, and it's opening now. Mistakes are starting to drift in, and we feel that's going to suit Liverpool, if anybody.
Ball played forward to Diaz. There's a gap there in the Spurs defence, but it goes away from Diaz, and it will run out of play for a goal kick. When I mentioned that Liverpool have only failed to score once under Arne Slot, they've scored at least 2 goals in 15 of their last 16 games. Only Girona away was the exception. This is a side that is used to finding the back of the net, but haven't been able at this stage. Created 3 opportunities throughout the whole game so far as we approach the midway point in the second half. Gray volleys it away for Tottenham. Gravenberch in front of Kulusevski, headed by Van Dijk. Gravenberch was filling in for his fellow Dutchman on that occasion. Ball up towards Johnson, first half substitute. Tsimikas holds him up. Johnson plays the ball on the inside. Kulusevski now runs in behind that gap, behind Tsimikas. On the Spurs right, slows down, enters the penalty area. Low ball in. McAllister was back, finds Luis Diaz. Checked by Porro, and then side down by Bergvall. and that is going to be a yellow card.
Look at the reaction of Ange Postecoglou. He's saying it's not even a foul as he touched the ball. Bergval's saying no chance. Diaz rides the first one, could have been a foul. Does he leave his leg? He's ready, he's waiting as the challenge comes. How does he get a yellow card for that? There's no contact, no?
Well, I'll be honest with you, to the naked eye, I mean, it's great seeing it on a replay, but to the naked eye I thought he was side down from here.
We're just seeing it again though, he's 10 yards away, the referee.
I know, but the referee hasn't got the benefit of a replay.
Well, he's only 10 yards away, so is the official. Yeah. The 15 yards either side then, from each, as a triangle.
I know, but it'd be very hard for me to criticise the referee when I initially thought it was a free kick.
Yeah, but we're 100 yards away. No, that's what they're there for. They've got to get it right. And he also issues a yellow card.
Yeah.
He's bought it. He could have given the foul the first time, that's why he did it.
For Porro, when Porro had the nibble.
Yeah, 100%.
Combative in a player, and he hasn't changed in the commentary box either as he swigs on his bovril. Ball played out by Gravenberch. Jones out on the right-hand side finds Salah midway through the Tottenham half, coming forward 0-0. Diagonal ball, Nunez latches onto it, hits it first time. The keeper reacted well. Kinski with a block save.
It's a brilliant save, isn't it? Great ball in behind and did what he said. That's really the first time we've had to see him tested, isn't it? Do you know, other than crosses, headers into his position, with his feet, he's been good. That's what he's there for.
Ball over the top towards Salah, and Kinski is there. Well, in many ways, you know, was he going to start him? First opportunity. It's a show of faith, really. If you spend £12.5 million on a keeper, you've got that opportunity, you throw him in at the deep end straight away, and at the minute, Antonin Kinski has done well, because he was on that in a flash, was Darwin Nunez for Liverpool. Just over 20 minutes remain, 0-0.
Tell you what, I don't understand why other teams haven't gone and took him at that money, and then he can come and play him straight away. Let's see how he gets on there.
Ball tickled out to the right by Johnson to Porro. Porro with the cross. Solanke is there. Endo heads it away under pressure. Alexander-Arnold brings it under control, then hits a ball on the diagonal to Nunez. On the stretch, kept it in play. On this near side, the Liverpool left is all in red. They play from right to left. And then McAllister in field, laid off by Jones. Gravenberch 6 yards outside the centre circle, out towards Alexander-Arnold. Diagonal ball along the ground. Jones with a little flick. Basuma will tidy up in the midfield. He finds Johnson. He gives the ball away carelessly. Gravenberch plays it forward towards McAllister. Referee Stuart Atwell almost gets in the way. Jones finds Nunez, links up with Diaz, back towards Nunez, edge of the area, plays it out. Alexander-Arnold is forced out wide, right-hand side, first-time cross into the area. Dragoshin will head the ball away. Gravenberch 25 yards out, brings it under control, plays the ball back. Endo. Spurs now have retreated. Every outfield player deep inside their own half. Liverpool urged on by that strong travelling support. Tsimikas with a teasing ball in. Might fall to Alexander-Arnold. Oh, goal line clearance by Dragoshin. McAllister wide, right-footed. What a goal line clearance by Dragoshin, because Alexander-Arnold hit it as sweet as a nut, but the Romanian was back there doing the covering and doing it extremely well.
I just went right across, and there's only one person who can hit it like this. He hits it, sort of fizzes right around the goalkeeper. You've got no chance of stopping it. Dragoshin sees the danger, gets on the line. What a good block that is when you see the replay as well. He hits it so clean, and then as it ricochets back out, he has to sort of dive to that far post as it just bounces into the ground and just goes past that post. But no wonder there's a little bit of an injury, a delay. I think Spurs need to do whatever they can to stop and wait. Game management now, they're under a bit of pressure.
They're going to make a change as well. There is a stoppage in play. It is Son. He did go down earlier, didn't he? And I just wonder whether they're not going to take any chances given their current plight. But Son is going to be coming off, and Timo Werner is the player who is going to be coming on as it remains 0-0 here with 18 minutes remaining. Son, who scored 6 goals in his last 8 games against Liverpool, unable to add to that tally as the German international comes on. The Liverpool supporters are the ones making all the noise here in North London this Wednesday night. We're on until 10:30, and it's Late Night Livesey on BBC Radio 5 Live. as Kinski, first time that he's been beaten, relying on Radu Dragusin with the excellent clearance.
He slices across it. We've seen him hit them so many times, like that cross-field one. But it was just to the right-hand side of the penalty area, right across the goalkeeper into that far corner. But what a clearance.
Alexander-Arnold then denied. He actually made his Liverpool debut against Tottenham in the League Cup some 8 years ago. Full time at Parkhead. Gavin Wallace.
Celtic 2, Dundee United 0, in goals from Dyson Maeda and Rio Hitati ensure the defending champions increase the gap at the top of the Scottish Premiership to 16 points. Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
And Kilmarnock Motherwell has also finished at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 0 was the full-time scoreline there. 0-0 here in the League Cup semi-final first leg. Tsimikas thought he'd overrun that, but he finds Diaz. Diaz enters the area, flicks it towards Tsimikas on the overlap. Good block by Porro. Ball kept in play too. Kulusevski gets away from Diaz, helped out by Porro, the right back, then waits, checks back on the inside, runs into Diaz, goes to ground, free kick to Tottenham Hotspur. There were many fearful for Tottenham, were they not, coming into this game? But all of a sudden you're 16 minutes away from still being in the tie.
Well, there's definitely in the tie. I think they've done very, very well. The problem is he hasn't got any depth in his squad because of the amount of players that are out. These players are just starting to look a little bit tired, are starting to lose a touch of control. They keep going, they've got that fight. They need to score, Denham.
Here is Dragusin carrying the ball out of defence. It was a ball that he was looking to try and get Werner away. Alexander-Arnold in a central area was covering. Archie Gray has played well. He does well now to find Werner, and Werner gets away from Alexander-Arnold, who tried to pull him back. The referee has played the advantage. Werner with his face into the penalty area hits the side netting. And the referee, Stuart Atwell, I thought he was just going to have a word with Alexander-Arnold. He couldn't live with the pace of Werner.
But he's completely left him and he's pulled him. But it's okay, we'll give the advantage. It's just when Werner gets into an unbelievable position, does everything. The next touch, which is crucial, is too wide, closes the angle, and then he strikes into the side net. And if that last touch would have been a little bit better, it gives him so much of a good opportunity. Hit the far corner, see if the goalkeeper saves it. The oncoming Johnson might have a tap in.
15 minutes remaining of normal time. Still waiting for the first goal of the night. Diaz brings it under control well, has Porro backpedaling. Kulusevski helps out, only succeeds in touching the ball towards Nunez. Now with Diaz, comes away from the penalty area, chips it towards Salah, too far ahead of Salah. Diagonal ball, but it's arcing its way clear of the Egyptian, and out it goes for a goal kick.
He's clever though, isn't it, Diaz? He's so clever, like little flicks, tricks, spins around, wants to do something positive. Oh wow, he's only just done a drag back on the edge of his 6-yard area under pressure.
Here is Werner as it settles, plays it back to Spence. Bergvall.
Can you believe he's just done that? The goalkeeper in this game, under pressure, right on the line.
Not lacking confidence, is he?
Wow.
Here is Porro. Ball forward, might reach Solanke. Flag stays down. Solanke is in. Solanke! Solanke against his former club. The flag stays down, and Spurs with a breakthrough goal. 14 minutes remaining. He was so composed. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Liverpool 0.
Well, you go on the shoulders, you run in behind, and Solanke takes that touch. He's just breathing down towards the goal. See Alisson coming out. It's a great ball initially, but once he's under that sort of pressure, there's that arc run. It's very tight. It's so tight. I think it might be Trent Alexander-Arnold, but doesn't he do well under pressure? Calmly puts it in that near post, and now we have the wait.
I think he's going to be offside. Now we might hear, because of course we do have the first use of an in-stadium VAR announcement. There might be a little bit of history. They are checking the goal for a possible offside. There's the boos and the jeers from the Spurs supporters. I I've seen it once quickly. I thought he was offside, but it's Alexander Arnold
so tight that Deno.
It's a tight call. So Paul Tierney at Stockley Park will be having a look at it. They are checking the goal for a possible offside, and then we might well be hearing the voice of Stuart Atwell. A little bit of history. First time in English football that the first ever in-stadium VAR announcement will be being made. They're still waiting to make the decision. Everybody waits. Stuart Atwell is looking for the instruction offside. The goal will not stand. And now we wait to hear the voice of Stuart Atwell for a first in English football. Eventually. The decision is coming now.
After review, Dominic Solanke was in an offside position in the build-up to the goal. My final decision is offside.
The first ever in-stadium VAR announcement brings delight for Liverpool supporters and disappointment for Tottenham. Solanke's goal is offside. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Liverpool 0. VAR complete.
What was that? Is that fair? Is that a fair summing up of the situation? We waited all that time for that. We knew it was offside a while ago.
Yeah. The game could have been back restarted 20 seconds earlier. Salah on the right. I mean, I don't think anybody really benefits from that. Anyway, here is Bergvall. Celebrations cut short. Bergvall's ball over the top. Johnson gives chase. Bouncing ball down and headed by Van Dijk. Tsimikas fouled by Johnson. Just over 10 minutes remain. And still at 0-0. Konate is going to be coming on as well. So they were clearly not prepared to risk him when Quanta went off in the first half. Endo's been filling in alongside Van Dijk, but now as McAllister is going to come off, Endo will move into midfield and Konate will go alongside Van Dijk.
It's a sensible one, isn't it? You can see Spurs are spinning in behind, the last one right through the middle, and it wasn't necessarily Endo's fault. He got even behind Van Dijk. Solanke, so tight, but you know, the experience that you've got and on that bench, game changers, things that can affect it quickly, and no wonder he reaches for the bench. And just as Spurs are getting a really good spell.
BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app on air till 10:30 this evening as Van Dijk plays the ball across towards Konate. Konate hits a long ball forward. Diaz off his chest, it will bounce towards Jones. Jones to the edge of the area, just a little bit off balance, couldn't get there, and Porro will lift it clear. Only as far as Gravenberch, it will stay in play. On this near side, Liverpool, remember, playing from right to left, all in red, attacking the end with now Endo towards Alexander Arnold, looking for Salah. What a ball that was from Alexander Arnold, and Archie Gray wasn't aware that Kinski was coming off his goal line, slid in, prevented it from reaching Salah, but then collided with his own goalkeeper, who quickly retreated. Spurs are in possession. Gray forward towards Basuma. Liverpool pressing. Gray clears downfield, bouncing over the head of Solanke and headed out by Konate. Michael Brown.
How mature Archie Gray. He's in. I'm not taking any risk. He could have easily said, let the goalkeeper take. He went, I'm taking command. I'm going to make sure it's gone. And then he starts playing under pressure. Top performance. Really impressed with him. And this game now is something's got to happen. It's got to, Dano.
Archie Gray is a player who can play at right back. He can play in midfield, but he's accomplished on the ball. He is he's very, very confident when he is in possession, and he's only 18 years of age. He actually turns 19 in March, as now he retreats as Salah doesn't keep the ball in play, and Spurs will get a throw. But to be fair, I thought Bergvall's done well as well at times tonight.
Very well. He's called him out early on for his recovery run, got into a great position as Liverpool attacked. He's seen off danger. He's drove forward. He's got into the box. Now, obviously, starting to feel their weight. Timo Werner's important now. It's his pace in this area. That's why they've got the cover on with Konate.
A number of youngsters who have thrived given their opportunity in the adversity that Spurs are facing. As Werner with a cross, clip ball in. Van Dijk heads it away. It's going to come back from where it came though, out towards that left-hand side. As Spence tees up Werner, doesn't deliver it first time. 6 yards up from the byline on the left-hand side, attacking the south stand here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 0-0 it remains with 7 minutes remaining. Could be all to play for the return leg at Anfield on the 6th of Feb in 4 weeks' time. Werner cuts it to Kulusevski, trying to roll his man. Kulusevski falls over, and then as the ball runs towards goal, it's scooped up by Alisson. Underarm throw out. Diaz under pressure, quickly plays it to Tsimikas. Challenge from Bergvall. Helped on its way now towards Nunez. Tsimikas has stayed down. The referee has played the advantage. Nunez rolls it to Gravenberch, 30 yards out from goal. He'll shoot from distance, and Kinski makes the save into his midriff. 0-0 it remains.
Yeah, great take from Kinski. Gravenberch out of his feet. Long way out, tries to get that shot into the far post, but look at the Spurs players now, right? There's one Liverpool player down. Timo Werner's got his head down, having a look. You've got Archie Gray struggling, Dragusin, Porro. Bergvall just put his hands around his socks. They are really on their heels here, this Spurs team. They have given it everything possible. Obviously, the referee decided to let that go. It was a late challenge, wasn't there? But Liverpool are looking more dangerous.
I'm holding a piece of paper in my hand that has got every first leg scoreline in the history of the competition, and we are in the 65th season of the League Cup, and I'm looking to see about how many goalless draws there have been in first legs of this League Cup. And a quick glance through, since the turn of the century, there have only been 4.
Wow. I don't know what's worse. I'm looking at that piece of paper, how long it's took you to do that. It's a great stat, though. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It didn't
There's
take
a lot of
me,
work.
It didn't take
well,
me.
It looks like it's all coloured in different marker pens, different colours, different highlighters. You've worked hard on that one.
Didn't take me.
What would you have done if it was 1-0 and you've done all that for that?
Well, I didn't do it for that. Okay. I was checking for other scenarios. I mean, if you really want me to be a sad stato, I can tell you that in the previous 129 ties, there have only been 32 draws.
Yes, that's better,
legs.
Isn't it? That's better.
Right?
There is a stop and play, by the way. We're not just waffling along.
5 minutes remaining. I know I need to get a life. I need to get out more. Long ball hit forward by Porro. Solanke will give chase. Good duo. And pulls it back. Bergvall! Great finish! No dispute about that goal. Sheer delight inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Solanke did ever so well. Used his strength. Held off Konate. Pulled it back. And there arriving was Lucas Bergvall. What a time to score your first goal for the club. Tottenham get the breakthrough goal, 1-0.
The supporters to the right-hand side. It's incredible noise in this stadium. They probably didn't believe that this could possibly happen. But it was all about grit, determination, desire, getting into areas, turning, setting your teammates up, midfield runners. Bergvall is one of you talked about, not just running forward, but running back. As the ball comes central, initially good work, as there's a little bit of controversy below. He makes his run, his timing's perfect, into the box, he just sweeps it in, right footed into the near post, fabulous finish as he goes celebrating to the left-hand side.
One of the coaching staff of Liverpool, I think, has been shown a yellow card by Stuart Atwell. Liverpool's 24-game unbeaten run since their only defeat under Arne Slot at home to Nottingham Forest could be coming to an end. And Lucas Bergvall, who has caught the eye along with fellow teenager Archie Gray, with the goal, some 4 minutes remaining. He took it early, inside the near post of Alisson, and took it well. And Spurs lead by 1-0 to protect that record of remaining undefeated when it comes to semi-finals at home in a first leg of the League Cup. Wonderful support inside this stadium now as Diaz controls the ball, waits, clips it towards the far post, headed away by Spence under pressure, helped further away by Timo Werner. Now with Mo Salah on that far side. Salah plays it back. Alexander-Arnold towards Salah. Salah's low ball in, cleared by Basuma. Decimated by injury and suspension. The Spurs players now being urged on by this vocal crowd, protecting the lead. We questioned whether they had to just stay in the tie. They will now have something to protect as it currently stands, going to Anfield in 4 weeks when their numbers should be boosted. 2 minutes remaining of normal time. Here is Endo. Konate. Out wide is Alexander-Arnold. Cross blocked by Spence. Fires it back in. Headed away by Gray. Falls to Tsimikas. Tsimikas left-hand side. Diaz. Left corner of the area. Back out towards Tsimikas. Cross comes in. Basuma heads it away. Hook further clear by Solanke. Off the chest of Van Dijk. Spurs now retreat. Liverpool apply late pressure. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tsimikas with a cross. It's a deep one. Salah can't control it. Alexander-Arnold nudges it. Endo, edge of the area. Runs towards the right corner of the box. Out towards Alexander-Arnold. In comes the cross. Diaz was there. Couldn't get his header goalwards. Volley cleared by Basuma.
Well, Liverpool have really reacted since that goal, but just to talk about the goal, there's a long strike right through the middle. Solanke desperately trying to get there first before Konate. He's come on just to stop that ball that we've seen Solanke get the goal from. He was strong, shrugged him off, and then that ball inside. Liverpool now throwing everyone forward. These Spurs players have given absolutely everything. Who's that now down on the floor? I think Dragusin's just said, right, I need a bit of treatment. I think they're trying a bit of game management, aren't they? Because they're under so much pressure. It's been a really tough performance for these Spurs players, and now Liverpool with everybody on the pitch. They didn't start with them. The last few moments are going to be so critical if Spurs can get any chance of going to Anfield and getting a result.
Well, who would blame Dragusin for going down? It gives an opportunity for Postecoglou to have a word with Bergvall. We haven't necessarily had the high level of goals that people were expecting, but once again they're still not involved in a goalless game at Tottenham Hotspur. In his 70 previous games, Ange Postecoglou, 242 goals scored, 105 conceded. That's 347. It's an average of just under 5 a game under Ange Postecoglou. So in that respect, we're under par with just the one that we've had tonight. But this might be one of his most satisfying wins.
And that's the point. I said to you, didn't I? It wasn't about flirt. It wasn't about how they've played. It was about, can they get a result? And if you told me they were going to get a clean sheet in the build-up to it, I'd have sort of think, really? Spurs getting a clean sheet in this game? There is a long way to go, as you've just seen the amount of added time, which is going to be a worry to Ange Postecoglou.
7 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. And Tottenham lead Liverpool by 1-0. Spence. Ball cleared away by Gray. We're off air at 10:30. We will bring you reaction in the 5 Live Football Daily podcast from both managers from down in the tunnel. And of course, you'll be able to hear it in breakfast in the morning as well during the sports bulletins with Rachel and Rick. Dragusin is off the field of play. Temporarily, Spurs are down to 10. He's got to wait the customary minimum 30 seconds. Now he's back on, and he races back on with real purpose. Liverpool are looking for an equaliser. Cross from Alexander-Arnold. Diaz was there. Headed away. And the referee will give actually a free kick to Tottenham. Another Tottenham player has gone down inside that 6-yard area. But I'm trying to think of times when the goalkeeper Kinski, the only real scare when he was probably beaten was the Alexander-Arnold effort, which was cleared off the line by Dragusin. Apart from that, McAllister and Nunez, a header in each half, straight at the young Czech keeper.
Yeah, I've seen Gakpo as well, but yeah, that was the strike that flew across him. There was a stray arm there, wasn't there, from Diaz on Porro, and that's why he stayed down. But now that weight, being on the pitch so many times, and it feels like an age when you want that clock to go away. You keep looking up and it just doesn't move, and you're better off playing, keeping possession. But this now would be some statement win for Ange Postecoglou in this Tottenham Hotspur side, especially when they're missing so many players.
Ball goes long by Kinski, headed back by Van Dijk. Nunez will give chase. Gray, though, is there. Spence can't deal with the bouncing ball, but then he rolls away and gets back there from Alexander-Arnold, and actually Spence has done well. Basuma forward, just too far ahead of Timo Werner. And by my watch, we have got 4 minutes remaining of the minimum 7 to be played here in North London, where Spurs are leading 1-0. Jones lets it come across his body. Diaz is available. Here is the Colombian. Crosses the ball. Nunez! Great save by Kinski. Nunez acrobatically splits it to the near post, and the young Czech keeper has made a terrific, smart, agile save towards his right with an outstretched right hand.
Yeah, good reaction save. There was red shirts coming from everywhere. It was flick central. Nunez just tries to flick it near post, and good reaction.
Outswinging corner waits to be taken. Tsimikas on this near side, the left-footed, arcs its way in. Solanke has gone down. Onto his feet as Kulusevski chips the ball out to Timo Werner, who's got the pace if he wishes to carry the ball forward. Instead he looks for Kulusevski. What legs from Kulusevski. Gets there first, held up by Gravenberch, and Nunez is the one now who'll bring the ball clear. But Kulusevski, he must be running on empty.
He's ran the whole length, hasn't he? He tried to use his body, and he's good when he does that. But Canati in and around it, Nunez, he's a fresher one, isn't he? He's got the energy, desire. He's got to be careful here, Spurs. They're going to keep playing, like we've just seen before. Jed Spence, when he could have just hooked it on, took it down, and when it works, it looked really good. At later stages now, the management side, there's been questioned so much about this team. Can they see it out? Can they get a clean sheet?
Liverpool in the past away from home have been beaten by slender margins, but have turned it around at Anfield. Not just thinking of that Sheffield United game that Michael Brown was part of, but 2 years before that in 2001 they lost away at Crystal Palace. This tie is far from over, but imagine come the final on March the 16th at Wembley, if you've got Newcastle United and Tottenham both looking to end long waits for silverware.
Wow, that would be something, wouldn't it? A lot of work to do. We're just having a look. Porro just got his hands on the back of Diaz. He dives forward, and then, as you can imagine, Porro saying to him, really, you're diving, it's not going to happen.
To dare is to do. Spurs supporters will be daring to dream their last trophy back in 2008, as they make once again a crescendo of noise with about 90 seconds remaining, and Ange Postecoglou might still deliver and keep up that promise, or pointing out the fact rather than a promise of winning silverware in his second season wherever he's been. They lead 1-0 and we are deep into injury time here on 5 Live.
Magnificent. Solanke, the ball comes to him, he lets it go through his legs, and then it's a race. He out-muscles Canati, then he fouls him down to the ground. Virgil van Dijk, hands on his head, saying, really, are we going to give that foul away? Be composed. That's something that he's very good at, but they're moments away now. It'll be a massive win. A psychological boost for this football club, who've been put under pressure, as is the manager, because of the questions of his tactics, but this has been a really gutsy performance.
Certainly has. We're deep into injury time. 30 seconds remain. Spurs lead by 1-0. One final attack for Liverpool. Luis Diaz racing forward, edge of the area, cutting in from the left. Square ball behind Alexander-Arnold. Forced to slow down. Plays it forward. Salah gets there. No, he doesn't. Spence heads it away. It'll go behind for a corner kick. Liverpool have a corner, and by my watch we are 10 seconds away from the minimum of 7 ticking by on the watch of referee Stuart Atwell. Now or never for Liverpool to rescue an equaliser in this semi-final first leg here on 5 Live. They trail by a goal to nil. A lot of pushing and shoving. Gray and Kanata getting involved. Stuart Atwell says, cut it out. So in front of the travelling support, the 6,000 that have made their way down from Merseyside. Alexander Arnold, out swinging corner, headed away by Basuma. They'll start baying for the final whistle now. Liverpool, though, have got a chance to swing it in again from the right. In it comes now, off the head of the goal scorer Bergvall. Drops inside the area. Bit of a scramble. Van Dijk is there, edge of the area. Endo has a shot blocked left-footed. Tsimikas takes the ball back. A Liverpool player is down inside the penalty area. The Spurs supporters are desperate for Stuart Atwell to blow his whistle. Gravenberch's forward ball runs into the arms of Kinski. That should be it. Spurs lead 1-0.
Well, they're not going to be in a rush now. They're desperate for this whistle. All of the staff, and Postecoglou, the supporters, they're just not blowing it. Liverpool put under pressure. Virgil van Dijk stays as a centre forward. It's got to be soon, Deno.
We are now into the 9th minute of injury time. Spurs lead by a goal to nil and have got a chance to attack. Timo Werner plays it forward. Kulusevski tries to get there. Alisson comes off his goal line. The crowd continue to bay for the final whistle. And there it is. And I'm not surprised that some of the Tottenham players drop down onto their feet. What a display it has been from this Spurs side, ravaged by injury and suspension, and they have a slender lead to take to Anfield in 4 weeks' time. Bergvall with the all-important goal, and Liverpool see their 24-game undefeated run since mid-September come to an end. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Liverpool 0.
Absolutely tremendous performance from a former side, and it was gusty, it was brave, determination. That's what's seen them through. Question marks have been thrown at them about how they defend, how they leave things open, but every single one of them, starting from that goalkeeper who came in, and whether he was right to start or not, set up all the attacks, but it was Bergvall who got that winner from the determination of Solanke. You felt it was coming. Arne Slot made all the changes, and it just wasn't enough for Liverpool. There's a long way to go, but they've got to take the positives from that.
They maintain their record of never losing a semi-final at home in the competition. Their supporters are dancing in the stands, and they will take a 1-0 lead to Merseyside in 4 weeks' time. It's finished Tottenham 1, Liverpool 0.
We're with you until 10:30 tonight when Tony Livesey takes over. So we've got Ian Dennis and Michael Brown inside the stadium. Charlie Adam is with us in studio as well. Charlie, we were watching Arne Slot looking very, very angry after that Tottenham goal was given. We now know why. He thinks there should have been a foul from Bergvall on Tsimikas before the goal, and that is the reason that Tsimikas wasn't on the pitch when Tottenham scored. Discuss.
Yeah, I think it's a foul, but again, you have to do better. I think Kanate has to do better. He gets out-muscled by Solanke, and then Solanke has the quality to get his head up and just slipping back. Bergvall, for a young kid, just to running in the box and slides it away. And to be fair, I think Tottenham have deserved the victory, but it's the first leg and they're going to Anfield in a month's time. But you know, they'll be delighted with that, especially with the pressure that's come on Ange and come on the team. And you need big results and big moments, and you know, this will look to hopefully give Tottenham a lot of confidence going into the Premier League for the next few weeks.
Just seeing, Michael, a big close-up of Lucas Bergvall there, and the look on his face. I mean, what an amazing moment that is for him. His first goal for Tottenham in a League Cup semi-final.
You know, as a youngster growing up, you dream of these special moments, and it's pretty much there gone. Yeah, it's a dream come true as he just slips into the penalty area, sticks it in that corner, and off he runs. That's what it's about. These are these special moments in football that you never forget, that come your way, and he's earned it. As I said to you, out of possession, he covered a lot of ground, he was unselfish, he made the box, he defended the box, and just the timing there. Solanke did ever so well as the lone striker at times. Must be very, very difficult playing in this Spurs side because of the amount of running you've got to do, and then defensively, you know, Dragoshin and Archie Gray, to look at Jed Spence, Porro, we know what you're going to get. But at time, those youngsters in particular on that left-hand side, Archie Gray and Jed Spence, how they were composed, how they took the ball under difficult situations, and it was a really, real good performance. Basuma, special mention in the middle of the park, and then Kulusevski sensationally when he gets it.
I'm sure it was a complete coincidence that they just blasted out some Aberdeen. Complete coincidence.
Yeah, probably. I'm just actually watching the young goalkeeper, Antonin Kinski, embracing whether it's his partner, I would imagine it's his partner, and she's very emotional, I've got to say. But he had that was a wonderful save late on, because Liverpool quite easily could have rescued it. But this 21-year-old is going to be very, very popular, making his debut, coming up with an important late save. Just had a nice little embrace of his partner there, and Spurs, against all the odds, have now got something to protect for the return leg.
No, I think it's special. The moments like that, young kid coming into the English game, it's the biggest move of his career. Big club Tottenham, to come, and then to go and play against Liverpool. He'd have been looking at that and thinking, Liverpool, big club, to keep a clean sheet. The way he played, I thought he was really composed in terms of how he played with his feet and made some good saves, real calmness to his play.
He did a drag back on the edge of the 6-yard area.
It's unbelievable,
but
again,
I couldn't actually believe he was doing it.
We're saying before the game, is it a big game? Is it a big? No, Ange trusts him. He's bought him 6 months before he actually wanted really to have him. The club have backed him. Yeah, he's young in age, but he's a goalkeeper. He understands what Tottenham want. He looks like he suits the way they want to play. But again, to dig out a result like that, I think it's a big performance for them in this moment where when things are tough, when they've had a few injuries. Bentancur goes off with an injury, but they're reacting the right way and they've got right characters. And for the young kid as well, Michael, as a midfielder, to be able to have that enthusiasm to get in the box and not lash it and just calmness to put it in the corner is a brilliant finish from him.
Yeah, do you know when it sits there? You make that run so many times and it just doesn't come, or you've ran from the penalty area,
or you run beyond it too much.
You run beyond it, and or you just think, right, I've just got to get something on it. You get your shot away and you think, oh well, it goes over. You don't always get what you get, but then the weight of it was almost perfect. He's running onto it, going, this is it. And he just strokes it, uses the pace, guides it in that corner. You just know, don't you? It was almost like, when Rodri steps up to that Champions League winner in the final. You finally get one of those that's right on point that you can just put into the corner. And it was great scenes. I really feel that this club needed that, didn't it, for the next few weeks or so.
Yep.
They've been under so much sort of adversity. The manager really kicking back and getting very aggressive in press conferences because he knows it's sort of, the heat's getting towards him. So really good day.